Hello, everybody. Welcome back. We are here with NASA Week 8. I'm Lego Mage here today with Dendar. How you doing today?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I'm doing just fine, and we are approaching the end of the regular NASA season here. Only a couple weeks left for these teams to lock in and get some important wins, but we're about to be jumping into our first game here. We got the undefeated PLX versus the on the rise, looking strong, Chikara Chatting. So this is looking up to be a pretty solid match. Last week, Chikara Chatting showed up with a very strong performance. They did have Shianzu that week, though. Japanese box is back this week, so none of that Shianzu magic, but I imagine they'll still be solid contenders. And of course, PLX looking to keep their undefeated streak and try and make an 8-0 appearance, possibly a 9-0 playoff appearance.
You know, PLX does have that undefeated record, but it looks today like they're bringing in two of their substitute players. And against names like Applebug and Evil Drew Danger, Japanese box included, you have to wonder whether or not those substitutes are good enough for this sort of main stage week 8. However, if they're bringing them in, they must have solid confidence in them. So I'm hoping we've got a great game ahead of us.
Yeah, and I mean, at the end of the day, they could lose the next 2 weeks and still probably be in first place um, for the playoffs, regardless. So, I mean, if they did just want to rest their starters, uh, or they just, it's not, these aren't as important games here for PLX. They're pretty much secured a playoff spot at this point, but it would be interesting to see how high they could take their record. But our first map today has been selected. It looks like it's going to be Demon Dice. So that's going to be pretty epic. Big fighting map, heavy KO map, the boxing ring, really. So we'll see what these players bring out in the pick and ban phase. If see that Juliet get banned off of Appa, or if they'll go for something else. But should look to be a pretty wild first game. I don't think we've seen too much Demon Dice, Demon Days, however you say it. You know what I'm talking about. Too much Demon Days around. It seems like Night Market and stuff like that tends to be the pick, but pretty neat that we get to see this map come out.
Yeah, and you know, when you see these substitutes, I think to myself, maybe they brought in these players specifically because they know what type of maps the opposing teams like Chikara Chatting. So maybe they said these substitutes, well, they're not our main players, maybe they excel on a certain pool of maps that they've decided to bring them in for. Or maybe, like you said, they're just getting them to stretch their legs, say, hey, you know, we're locked in, we're guaranteed for whatever placement we kind of want. So let's get our substitutes worked up so that no matter who we have in the finals, we're guaranteed to have some good matches.
Yeah, that's a very good point. I think when you're in this type of position, you have the leeway to kind of do that, and if you're given that opportunity where it's not a critical win situation, yeah, like training up your substitutes, getting more experience with them on the roster is definitely a good idea. So PLX looking to probably just have a chill one here. Jakara chatting as well is it a 5-2 record, which is pretty good. They would like probably at least one more win to kind of confirm those playoff spots. Core Requiem and Five Kais are down there and could catch up should they win the next couple games, at least Core Requiem anyway. But we're going to be loading into it right now, and we're going to be taking a look at what these comps are going to be in just a second.
Yeah, and you know, for the case of Jakara chatting, even though they may not need to necessarily win out to guarantee their placements, that seeding that they get for winning these games could be a big factor in what kind of matchups they have in the future. So if they do win this game, it could actually help them a lot out later down the line. Unfortunately, I can't see the starting awakenings right now, so we won't know whether or not those are helping them. But we do potentially see a now ban coming up from one side. a really powerful character that, depending on the starting awakening, I have to imagine this is something like an explosive entrance and monumentalist star if these are the two characters coming out. But they may also know that one of these character players is really good at these two characters. Evil Drew Danger, I know, having a really good now. I've seen it once or twice in my ranked games, and I believe Vizay was hovering the Zentaro. I don't remember for sure. However, right now they're hovering the Vice, getting that extra damage in with Drew on the Kazan. And so we'll just have to see what kind of teams they're looking for. The red team Chikara chatting here, looking for more of a, almost like a core control type team with this Dubu and Aimi just locking down zones and saying, hey, we can't beat you up as hard as you can beat us up, but we're going to make your life a hell.
Yeah, that Now ban is pretty interesting. Now is pretty strong in general, and especially on this map. So letting Evil Drew Danger get that would have been rough, but this will, of course, allow Applebug to be on the acclaimed Juliet. And it is actually a Stagger Swagger extra special start, so maybe that damage won't be as impactful. You can, of course, still kill through Stagger Swagger by just not letting the regen actually occur, but with the regen changes, it may, it may matter anyway. Of course, I say that, and immediately Applebug is just taken off of the field. Zay Forever hitting that level 2 now. Now Vaga also on level 2 has the hook available. Zay Forever just throwing out some damage onto Japanese box as they look to try and make this power play. But Chikara chatting able to hold it down, keep both barriers up through the 2v3 here. And now Applebug with the dribble sending it back up to this top side as Chikara chatting looks to make a little bit of a push of their own here. Japanese box still up in the fray. Barriers are still up though. Now on the bottom side, Evil Drew Danger looking to make a push, but nothing is going to come of it. Vaga pushing up in the midfield, keeping it going. The cat cannon comes out from Japanese box. Supernova from Zay Forever is going to send it all the way around the back. An unfortunate angle there will result in a barrier lost from both sides, though. But Evil Drew Danger and Zay Forever both have energy up now. Something big could happen as we're about to be entering this overtime. Core flip from Evil Drew Danger sends it around the bottom, secures that second barrier. Core flip from Zay Forever sends it right around the back. Evil Drew Danger holds it down though and keeps that barrier up for the side of chatting. Looking to find a pass down to Japanese box. Zay Forever teleporting up with the Vice secondary. Applebug's in a bit of trouble trying to survive in this goal box, and Vaga has a core flip up, but chatting is still looking to make this play. Zay Forever with the Supernova will find the KO though. Japanese box loses the strike ward to Drew, who's going to look to push this bottom side, and Zay Forever in the midfield keeps it up there. Core flip is blocked by Evil Drew Danger, keeps the barrier up. Zay Forever will be able to bring it down in the strike ward though as Applebug respawns. Still stuck at level 1 though. Apple does not have the flurries available at all. Will hit the level 2 here though, but both teams open now in this overtime. Vaga sending it down to the middle. Japanese box is in this midfield though, and Evil Drew Danger in this top side. Drew in the corner, able to finesse it around Japanese box right into the bottom as Platinum exclusive strikes first.
One thing I'm noticing about these teams is when you have somebody like Vice, who he has a ton of damage, but sometimes it can be a little awkward to get those kills with the very predictive things like the ult and the secondary. Evil Drew Danger taking a ton of damage, getting out of there, leaving the goalie box, entering the enemy's goalie box just to get some health. But when you have these types of characters, sometimes it can be a little difficult to get those finishing kills and on Stagger Swagger. But when you have something like a Rasmus goalie who can just hook somebody in, especially when they're trying to take your barrier, or Kazan, who just is 2 buttons away from killing you at any moment, even though there is that Stagger Swagger start, you got to think this damage really is coming out. And another death goes down. The Firewall Sentry not able to save the core as they're getting it out of their half. And now Drew very low, but still pressuring the goalie, letting that Stagger Swagger really help out with the extra special. Not really being that much of a pickup on Kazan. Japanese box comes back, so we might see another Firewall Sentry relatively soon. But the barrier goes down, and now they're getting it back onto the red side, Chikara chatting side. Evil Drew Danger gets it out. Not a ton of pressure on that lock quite yet, but there could be some soon with a Vice secondary coming down now.
Yeah, and with the goal open now, they are up 2 points here, but PLX is going to have to fight for these next 2 barriers. Overtime is approaching soon as well. Good ult there from Drew, able to secure 1 barrier, but the core from Evil Drew Danger sends it around the top side, and Appa able to protect it long enough for Japanese box's Firewall Sentry to sink it right in. Chikara chatting will put themselves on the board here, but PLX still up, looking to get this last point and secure this ever crucial first set. You never know what you could get. A rapid fire, twin drive, etc. for that Kazan could be absolutely game changing here. Platinum exclusive, of course, going to be looking to get that pickup. That being said, they will lose a barrier, but Appa is going to get thrown around like a ping pong ball, and Vaga will find the KO with the hook here. And barrier coming out from Drew, but Japanese box firing right back, opening up the goal, receives the pass from Evil Drew Danger, keeping it in the bottom corner, earns a core flip, won't land the cyber swipes though, but Evil Drew Danger will keep the barrier up, sending it back over to the midfield. Drew trying to intercept this pass, getting it down to the bottom side. Japanese box with the glitch pop, gets it through the midfield, sends it up into the firewall sentry in the top corner. Japanese box looking to intercept, can't quite make it, gets it sent back up though. Supernova comes out, core flip comes out, it is blocked by Vaga as Applebug also goes down. Drew able to secure the second barrier, whiffs the core flip on the air unfortunately, and Japanese box with a great glitch pop to send it and cut the pass. Vaga with the hook though, able to get it back up the field over to Drew, will find the point as PLX takes the first set.
As we go into this draft, you got to consider that even though they are a damaged team, they may be looking to take those few defensive awakenings that remain, things like Unstoppable, Spark of Resilience. Unfortunately, though, it looks like there's just pure damage coming out here as we see things like Missile Propulsion, Quick Strikes potentially coming out for the goalie, helping with that defense, but a Prime Time taken instead, most likely to deny the Dubu logs, locking down that space. We see a Deadeye come out for the Vice, and just damage is being piled up here. No Timeless going to the enemy. Instead, Demolitionist valuing the size, maybe just having that little extra bit of presence where when you are allowed to stand on the field, you have more of an easier of a time just getting that core to wherever it needs to go. The Castellast coming out for Julie, not much of a pick there for them, unfortunately, with the Missile Prop and Timeless being their other choices. So now you've denied a player an entire Awakening draft, and you've gotten a ton of damage on your side. This is looking good for Platinum Exclusive.
Yeah, that was a very strong draft there from Platinum Exclusive, and already Applebug going down once again to Zay Forever and Vago 101. Evil Drew Danger is pushing up, going to drop down the soup, will get a barrier off of it as well, reversing the power plays. The second barrier also goes down. Applebug back online here, but Drew looking for a barrier of his own. Evil Drew Danger, though, pushing it down into the midfield. Japanese box taking a lot of damage, but still in the fight. Glitch pop, self-pass, getting it to Applebug. Bag and Zay Forever going to hold that one down, though. But Japanese box still winning in the midfield, sending it over. Supernova from Zay Forever to try and block that one. And now back behind the goal blocks Evil Drew Danger, trying to keep it safe. Drew will get his hands on it, though, and able to bring down that barrier and open up the goal. And what a strike war from Drew against Japanese box. Just sends it right in. Absolutely beautiful play there from PLX and Drew.
Yeah, you know, even in that open form, even though when he doesn't have that strike range, that Drew getting that strike war really big for their team. As sometimes these strike wars against these strong players can be extremely difficult. It feels almost like you're playing like a real-time event. Like if you get it wrong, you lose everything. But right there, they win it all, get that barrier down, and get the goal in. And so now they're pressing up on the barrier one more time, but unfortunately lose their own on the side of Platinum Exclusive as now Chakar Chatting pushing up, but Drew, excellent defense, getting that core into the enemy team's half, but now they're keeping it. The tempo's kind of going back and forth. A nice parry on that core flip. Unfortunately, though, they can't seem to get it out of their half as it just keeps coming and coming, and Applebug goes into their goal with that dash punch, securing a point for Chakar Chatting.
Chakar Chatting firing right back here. Vaga does still have a core flip up going into this set, as it is just 1-1. Platinum Exclusive, of course, very easily can take this back at any time. Both teams going to have to fight hard here, looks like, to take this set. But Evil Drew Danger putting up some defense right now, clearing it down here to Japanese box. The forwards of PLX, though, keep sending it back there, keep this offensive pressure going, not letting Appa touch it. They go for the KO there on Drew, but just not quite enough power on Appa just yet, as Drew able to fire back with a barrier here. Evil Drew Danger in the bottom now, trying to push it up. The cat cannon comes out. Vaga, nice clear around the back side there. Evil Drew Danger pushing up into this midfield, and Drew, of course, trying to get it past him, but so far, relatively successful, but what a great save there from Evil Drew Danger. Bounce around the backside, sends it back all the way over. Vaga with the core flip to try and keep it going, but it's just a battle of midfield right now, as Drew will find the goal barrier, though, with a nice little ricochet off of that bumper. Appa with a core flip up is pushing the top. One barrier goes down here, but Japanese box is going to get hit with that pendulum swing. There's a little bit of core control there. Back in the midfield, though, Soup is going to come out from Evil Drew Danger and send it all the way back around. Appa will secure that bottom barrier, and with the core flip up now in the cat cannon, goes for the flip and catches it, unfortunately, on the bottom corner. They still have control of the core, though. Evil Drew Danger core flipping it here, sending it up all the way around to Applebug. What a hook from Vaga, though. Pulled Applebug right out of position. An insane play from Vaga, but it paid off, and they are still going. Supernova from Zay Forever sends it all the way back across as we are deep into this overtime now. Drew looking for the shot. Evil Drew Danger able to block it, though. Now into the top side. Zay Forever with the core core flip off the ricochet, goes for the top side. Evil Drew Danger able to block it. Now Appa dribbling right into the side. Japanese block, but Vaga hits the angle, saves it on the goal line, gets it to Drew, and they score! PLX! They're insane! That was amazing! Oh my goodness. And Drew does still have energy up for this round here as well. They will one barrier down going into this, but still looking to keep this offense going. Zay Forever kicking it up. Drew with the core flip will eventually secure that first barrier here. A lot of damage being taken by Chikara chatting as well. Drew Danger, though, in the top side, dribbling it. Oh, unfortunately going to hit his own barrier a little bit. Core flip going to come out from Japanese box. Sends it all the way around. Will get the barrier here, though, and keep the offense going. Cyber Swipes on the bottom side. Going to hit stun. Zay Forever and Vaga to sink it in. Ties it all up. Set point now for both teams.
Yeah, you know, that previous round, Vaga put on that masterclass of defense, just making it look like it's the easiest thing in the world, even against these amazing players. Unfortunately, that round can't really keep it up. We haven't really seen this damage pile up too much, you know, and there goes one. As I say that, bit of a commentator's curse there. However, Drew putting on the pressure, recognizing, yeah, I can walk up and just be the third forward, especially with that tofu wall. Unfortunately, though, Japanese box looking a little unhealthy. The stagger change is not favoring them too much, even with the stagger swagger. They get the core back into Chikara Chatting's half, but we have to see if Japanese box can live long enough to tell the tale of scoring a goal against this team. Drew Danger walking up with this flip, though. Tofu Fortress could be coming down, unfortunately, playing conservative, saying, we don't need to rush it, we have our teammates back, we can do anything we want. Good save on the Vice ult. However, Appabug looking like they need to be saved as they go down to 1 health, Japanese box following in suit.
Yeah, and the first barrier will fall here. Japanese box with the second barrier as well, trying to get it over to Appa in this top corner. Not going to be able to land the dash punch there, but they still have the offense. Japanese box into the top side. Evil Drew Danger pushed up here as well. It's going to let it fall back a little bit. Walk it around this backside, just trying to find a nice clear as we enter overtime. The soup comes out. Great save from Vaga with the whiplash, but Japanese box is up in this midfield right now. Core flip comes out from Zay Forever, hits the log, goes back, and Vaga's able to sit there and secure it. Japanese box self-path the glitch pop, goes for the core flip. It is blocked, though. Appabug getting absolutely hit stunned on that one. Could not secure it. As now Drew looking to push back, has a core flip up of his own, burning it here, sending it around the top. Will get one barrier here, looking for more potentially, but Evil Drew Danger finds a way to clear it out. Glitch pop from Japanese box, passes it right to Appabug. What a shot from Japanese box, as Chikara Chatting will take a set of their own now, and Evil Drew Danger, the MVP.
Yeah, and you know, when we look at this Awakening draft, we see things like Unstoppable, Monumentalist, Spark of Resilience. You know, Monumentalist not so much, but the other two being a good sign of survivability if they need it, but they take the team player here, keep favoring the offense, saying, yeah, we know that we're going to get low, but we're going to rely on our stagger swagger to keep ourselves up. 2 Sparks going to the side of Platinum exclusive, perhaps looking for that angle on the Spark of Victory, as some may call it, the Spark of Leadership. We see Twin Drive go down to Vice, Monumentalist go to Aimee, and we see Unstoppable go down to Juliet. That Unstoppable may help with the ability to survive, you know, only level 4 on Appabug, but I feel like this is one of those games where the stats don't really tell the full story. You know, when you spend your entire time fighting for your life and a kill goes down 2 levels instantly off of just 1 kill. You know, like I said, the stats don't always tell the full story, and here we're seeing it in full swing.
Yeah, absolutely. Chikara Chatting with a new breath of life now, as it seems. They'll bring down 1 barrier here off of that power play as they look to go for more. And looking at Evil Drew Danger's build, I mean, Fight or Flight, Team Player, Stagger Swagger, that's a pretty solid looking Dubu for this map. You can't really kill him, and he's kind of able to just get the core really wherever he needs to with that team player. So it's a pretty solid draft for Chikara Chatting there. Not too many sparks. The Kazan did not get the twin drive for the side of PLX, and with the goal open now, Chikara Chatting looking to make something happen and get a point here. Evil Drew Danger needs to find a way to clear this out of here. Looks like down to Japanese box, brings out the soup. Drew sends it right back in, though. Core flip, though, is going to pass it up to the midfield. Appabug now looking to make a play happen. Receives the pass once again, but Vaga keeps it absolutely held down on the goal line. That core is not going in right now. Stay Forever on this bottom side, passing it back over to Drew, but Evil Drew Danger keeps that barrier on lockdown right now. Nice pass up to the top. Stay Forever, though, able to intercept it and send it back around, but Japanese Box will find the clear out. Vaga, however, going to be able to send it back up into the play. Evil Drew Danger with the roll, sends it back down to the bottom in the hands of Applebug. Gets hit with the pendulum swing, but Evil Drew Danger with the team player sends it right back. Core flip from Vaga, though, is going to shut down the flurries, and now Japanese Box only after passes to Applebug. Core flip comes out, dribbled off the bumper, is not going to be able to find the point, unfortunately, as Stay Forever finds a way to clear it out there. Japanese Box going for the big plays, but the defense from PLX is just too strong. Evil Drew Danger brings out the soup, but core flip comes out from Drew, dribbles it, goes for the barrier. Evil Drew Danger is there to strike it, though, and a glitch pop from Japanese Box cuts off the clear, sends it to Applebug. What a play from Chikara Chatting as they take the lead now for the first time this game.
Yeah, you know, the Platinum exclusive, they've got a ton of damage, but it seems like they're having a little trouble securing kills because if you can't get them in that sweet spot window right before Stagger Swagger picks them back up, you know, it can be a little feeling like you sort of dumped all your resources and got nothing in turn. Vaga not needing any resources to save this gold, though, with these strikes being excellent, but unfortunately, as I say that, both barriers go down. Drew helping keep the pressure up, but unfortunately just stuck between these two people from the Chikara Chatters. We can see if they can get it out. Japanese Box going for a dribble. Drew even walking up, looking to use that Tofu Fortress to keep the pressure going. Back to Japanese Box. Applebug looking low, but not out. Drew Danger with a flip, easily able to protect that barrier. We may see one from Zay come out, but it seems like they're playing conservative, especially down 2 locks. And now they have a 2v2 in Chikara Chatting's goal box, but the flip comes out for Drew Danger. Maybe a little miscalculation on that initial dribble, but it gets to Applebug, and no miscalculation there, sends it straight in, doesn't even need the punch, just a dash and a strike.
Chikara Chatting looking very solid after that last draft, and Japanese Box and Zay Forever both gonna have their core flips up. A battle of the midfield core flips gonna be coming out this round in what is set point for Chikara Chatting. Japanese Box on the top side looking to bring down a barrier here. Core flips in the corner. We'll get one barrier. Core flip comes out from Zay Forever defensively there to try and clear it out, but the pressure is still on from Chatting, and now Applebug, the one with the core flip up, sending it over the top. Appa burns the core flip, isn't able to quite hit the angle. It's going to allow PLX to secure a second barrier of their own now, open up the goal. Core flip from Vaga sends it into the top corner. Evil Drew Danger will respond, but the pressure is still on. Zay Forever keeps sending it back in, but Evil Drew Danger able to find the clear. Supernova comes out, though, and off the bumper, Drew able to strike it in with the long Kazan strike there. Evil Drew Danger couldn't quite reach that, and that Kazan strike came in pretty clutch there as PLX fire back with a point of their own now.
Yeah, you know, and I've heard in the past that one of the things that they feel makes NA a powerful region is that there's a lot of these times where sometimes people say, well, how am I supposed to win this strike war? And they say, well, you just don't ever take it. And right there, Drew Danger didn't really even get a chance to strike war Drew, both the names being Drew, a little confusing at times. But just with that bumper pass, they were able to just get it straight to Drew and get it through with no problem. But right now, they're having a little bit of problem getting it out of their own net, as this Firewall Sentry plus Applebug's presence is just enough to send it in. Where did that lock go? Where did that round go?
Big play coming out from Chikara Chatting. Evil Drew Danger just walked up to the midfield and said, I'll do it myself with that core flip. And now Spark of Leadership on the board, as well as the other two Sparks. Looks like it's not going to be too much of a big deal, though, as Sparks are kind of dead here. Rapid fire pickup on Evil Drew Danger makes sense here. Vaga going for the second Spark here. We'll have Stagger and Cooldown. Spark of Leadership on to Drew. It does have the Spark of Agility, but with only 2 Sparks, it's not that big of a deal. Applebug did pick up the Spark of Power, possibly as a deny there. Not a lot of, like, massive other things other than maybe Explosive Entrance, but Zay Forever will pick up that, and Aerials on Japanese Box. Once again, kind of feels like Chikara Chatting may have won that. We'll just have to see. The Sparks aren't too crazy on the side of PLX here, so Chikara Chatting could be looking to take one, and of course Appa finding that KO there could be pretty big. They will lose a barrier, though, but Evil Drew Danger needs to find a way to clear it out and get the offense going once again. And here we go, back in the hands of Appa. One barrier off of this backside. Vaga will respawn here. Japanese Box looking to make something happen, brings in the Cyber Swipes. Evil Drew Danger in the midfield as well, keeping the offense going. Nice little glitch pop there from Japanese Box to secure that barrier. Now Evil Drew Danger is trying to get it past the forwards here. We'll send it down to this bottom side. Japanese Box brings out the Firewall Sentry, going to force it all the way upfield. Born the core flip here, sends it around, but Vaga finds a KO onto Applebug. Doesn't matter, though, because Japanese Box with another great glitch pop snipe is going to find the point, and the glitch pops from Japanese box this game have just been pretty incredible. They've really been on point.
You know, a little bit of a slow start at the beginning of this game for Chikara Chatting, but now the engine's on. They are really just putting pedal to the metal as they score goal after goal. I don't know what Platinum Exclusive can do here to stop this sort of onslaught that they have, but Japanese box really showing their presence. As you said, in Drew getting those good Tofu Fortresses in to keep up the pressure. Still having a core flip, that pressure is immense at this point. Using it to save the goal, but then instantly using the Summer Assault to keep it locked in place so that they can readjust. Applebug going for that dash punch doesn't quite make it, but unfortunately the core just slides past everybody, and we're looking at a potential match point here for the side of Chikara Chatting.
Yeah, PLX ran away with that first set, but Chikara Chatting has made it pretty clear that they really want to take this game one here. PLX with the initial offense off of kickoff won't earn too much. Evil Drew Danger looks like going to find a clear out this way. Japanese box getting it past that vice secondary up to Appabug. Evil Drew Danger now in the midfield, passing it up once again. Defense from PLX will hold for now, though. Japanese box on the bottom goes for the KO, but doesn't quite find it. Evil Drew Danger brings out the Tofu Fortress on this top corner. One barrier goes down. Can they get a second one? Yes, they will. Appabug will be able to secure that one. The Fireball Sentry coming out as they look to keep the power play going. Appabug sends it right into the hook of Vaga. Great hook there from that Rasmus to keep it held down, but they're still in a dangerous situation as a pass there from Japanese box to Appa, able to just kick it right in. Chikara Chatting takes game one.
You know, and I feel like that game, there was an exceptional case for the two goalies. Vaga just having this masterclass defense, you know. It seemed like nothing could get past them without them using a ton of resources, plus Appabug needing to dash punch. And even then, sometimes those got saved. Drew, however, on the other hand, being this offensive masterclass, saying, like you said, I'll do it myself if I must. Going up, using those Tofu Fortresses, applying a ton of pressure, and not trading that offense for defense, as he still had some excellent clears. You know, those core flips barely getting used and only being used when necessary. Really just like two sides of the same coin. However, this time offense won, and on a map like Demon Days, you got to wonder whether or not that's just because that's an offensive-oriented map.
Yeah, I think the midfield as well was a big factor. It feels like Japanese box was just really holding it down, cutting the passes, especially with the glitch pop, just cutting the passes, reinforcing any pushes that Appa was making, and They Forever just couldn't quite get that going as much as well. Of course, they're against a Dubu, so Evil Drew Danger had those emergency shut this down immediately buttons that could shut down any big plays they were trying to make. But yeah, really, I think Japanese box put in a lot of work that game, just in the midfield, getting those passes up there, keeping the offense going at all times, and was a big factor in this. That being said, the defense from PLX was pretty solid for most of this. Like, before that came online, PLX was saving a lot of goals that they probably shouldn't have been. Like, Vaga did very well, I think, on that Rasmus goalie. Really made Appa was not allowed to touch that core for most of the game. Like, Appabug did kind of very little because Vaga was just always stunning him or pulling him or just getting the core as far away as possible.
Yeah, like you said, I gotta agree. Japanese box really did put on a good show there. And you know, midfielding on Demon Days can be tough sometimes because it feels like if you move up with those sound barriers on the top and bottom, it feels like you can really put your goalie in an awkward situation. But they had no awkwardness in their gameplay as they managed to keep the offense and defense perfectly in sync, never leaving their goalie to fend for themselves, and really just putting on a good show for both sides. And now we see a player swap on the side of Platinum Exclusive bringing in Cows. I believe they took out. Who did they take out?
They took out Zay Forever,
Took
looks
out Zay
like.
Forever. Okay. If I remember right, let me look at the chart here. For the side of Platinum Exclusive, Zay was one of the regulars they're bringing in Cows. So yeah, they may just be using this as an opportunity to get some experience against these really great players on their substitutes. Or maybe somebody had something come up. It's hard to say. But the thing that I can say is that we're waiting on this next match. I don't know if we know what map we're getting to yet, but hopefully it's something a little bit slower this time so we can see a little bit more of that core control come out. Japanese box really showing off their prowess with getting the core 2 Applebug. Even though Applebug was down levels, just one KO shot them up 2 levels, and Japanese box doing an excellent job getting it to them. And once it got to them, they had no trouble scoring. So whatever happened between set 1 and set 2, if that engine is still turned on, we could see a dominating game 2.
Yep, and it looks like our next map is actually going to be at Lab, Atlas's lab. Back to the lab again, a little bit more, I guess you could say tame map. I mean, Demon Dice isn't insane, but it is definitely kind of the fight map to be sure. But at Lab, a little bit more vanilla here, a little bit different from Demon Days. So we'll see how it goes. And I am also being told that Demon Days was actually PLX's map pick. So we're going to be going on to a map now that Chikara Chatting actually picked. And, when you come off a game where you just beat a team that's undefeated on a map that they picked, you could be feeling pretty good if you're Chikara Chatting going into a map that ideally you're comfortable on to try and take this series. Just need one more game. If it does go to a game 3, by the way, it's going to be Inky's Splash Zone, so that could be interesting to see as well. But yeah, it's going to be Atlas Lab for game 2.
And with that, we had a little bit of a technical difficulty. I ended up as the lobby owner. Somehow I've sent it over to Evil Drew Danger on the side of Jakara Chatting. So I'm sure that they'll be able to start the game whenever they are ready and whenever all the players are ready. Atlas Lab, a map that I'm a big fan of. It's sort of seen as the neutral pick, so to say, of this game, where it seems like I've never really met anyone who despises it. Everybody has their opinion on stuff like Demon Days, Clarion Corp, but I've never really heard anyone say they hate Atlas Lab or any character that's like necessarily unplayable on it. So I think that for the sake of having it be a good backup map, it isn't like, oh, they lost on their good map and now they're going to get throttled on a map that they don't know like what they can do against this team. It's very much so I feel like if their fundamentals are shining, they can really get this through no matter the situation.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. AtLab is pretty much kind of the standard issue map. I'd say that some teams definitely prefer it over others, just in general, but it's pretty much a map that really everyone plays. So we'll have to see how it ends up going. Of course, it looks like Vaga hovering that Aimi goalie pick is pretty notable, pretty strong on this map. So we'll see if that ends up going through. About to enter this ban phase. Oh yeah, PLX not allowed to ban this game because they use Nightmare Vice, which is a banned skin, so that's why there's no ban over there. But it is the Kazan, which is banned on the side of Chikara Chatting against Drew here. Vaga locking in that Aimi, looks like. Drew going to be on that Centauro hover. There's Appa, most likely on that Juliet pick. I'd imagine Evil Drew Danger probably going to be on like a Dubu or an Atlas this game. There's the Centauro pick. Cow's hovering the Kai. There's the Dubu coming out. And Aimi, once again, from Japanese box, absolutely cooked on it last game. And we'll see if they can keep it up here. As we take a look at these starting awakenings, Spark of Leadership Rapid Fire. And it's Japanese box and Appa Bug on Rapid Fire. Everyone else on that Spark of Leadership. So Sparks could definitely be a thing this game.
Sparks will definitely be flying as we go into this first round. Applebug taking a little bit of damage. Vaga getting it out, however. Cow's helping on this defense. Really good use of the triangle setup, as some would call it. But the one thing I'm concerned about here is with 3 Spark of Leadership picks on the side of Platinum Exclusive, that's 3 players that you have to deny. And on a character like Zentaro, where they have some very powerful awakenings that sometimes it feels like you have to deny, Kai being a good all-rounder with just about anything, and Aimi making use of just about anything. Even if you deny them those sparks, it seems like they're almost guaranteed to get something great for them. That Zentaro bug coming out now, maybe saving them. But when you have 2 rapid fires on the side of Jakara Chatting, they don't have as much value denying those sparks, and at some point they might be forced to. However, at the same time, if we get a draft where maybe there's 2, 3 sparks that show up all at once, now all of a sudden Platinum Exclusive is kind of just down a starting awakening.
Yeah, and both teams with the goal box open now. This first draft, of course, going to be ever crucial. It will be Drew who finds the shot in between Evil Drew Danger and Japanese box there as PLX takes the first point. But Yeah, this first draft is going to be very crucial. If sparks show up, if someone on the side of PLX starts sparking, or even if Evil Drew Danger ends up being the one who gets, the first spark, that could potentially be pretty big. But that being said, Appabug will find a KO here onto the goalie, actually, as a potentially big power play now coming out from Jakara Chatting. They're going to earn the barrier, and the core flip from Cows, though, takes down both barriers on the side of Jakara Chatting. Big double ding. Nice shot there from Cows, but Applebug does have a core flip of his own. I'm going to burn it here with the glitch pop off of Japanese box. Vaga is there to block it, though. It's almost a great play. Applebug, however, with the dribble into Dash Punch, will find the point regardless and tie it all up.
We saw that their Japanese box was in a little bit of danger with that health, but apparently the danger was in the bottom exclusive net as Appabug manages to get that through. Really good use of both a Strike War and the Dash Punch. However, here we see Drew dashing themselves into the black hole, trying to put the pressure on Japanese box while they have this core flip, trying to get that core flip out. The core flip does come out, but unfortunately, the flurry from Juliet does sort of deny that core flip. But it could have kept the pressure up, but good defense from the side of Platinum Exclusive. And here we see it again, Vaga almost saving that goal in what seemed like an awful situation. And hopefully we can see more of those core flip angles like we saw that got the double barrier, but here we only see one get taken. Cow is doing a good job getting that kill and then backing up saying, hey, I got mine. I need to back up before I'm the next one. Drew, however, in the face of Drew, the Drew off, and it seems like they just can't get it through, but they do get it through there. The Zentaro special getting it through. The black hole being popped, a lot of damage on the side of Chikara Chatting. Applebug very low, but we'll see if we can get it to Drew.
Core flip coming out from Vaga there, sends it down to the bottom. Drew looking to dribble in this top side, but Cow's going with the Giga Blast to try and find the KO onto Appa. It's not going to be quite enough power here. Now Appa has a core flip up in the goalie box, starting to push it up. The hit stun will come out from Vaga, though, to send it back. Appa goes for the core flip, but can't find the shot, and with Japanese box dead, this is rough. Drew finding a KO onto Appa. It's just Evil Drew Danger now. 3v1 situation. Cows dribbling it in the midfield. Pass over to Drew. Japanese box respawns, though, and is able to get it out of there, but Drew in this bottom side goes for the back pass to Cows. Looks to push this top side now, but Evil Drew Danger, the defense is still there, striking it through, but Drew on to Evil Drew Danger. It's going to allow Cows to sink it right through. PLX takes their second point, brings it to set point, and pretty significant, I would say, energy advantage as well. Drew and Cows going to have their core flip up this round.
That last round looked like a little bit of a miscommunication on the offense there, but they still managed to get it through. And, even if with that miscommunication, they can get it, just like they get both of these barriers, you got to wonder whether or not they're really feeling good this game and could potentially be taking this first draft with the first pick. Right now, they got to get it out of their half and get the first goal. But right now, Japanese box taking some damage. Vaga able to hold up the defense, keeping it on their half. Japanese box with those glitch pops, like you said, are really just great at that ability and making it look very easy to control the core. Cows is now back. We have to see if with this player back, they can keep up the offense.
Yeah, Cows looking to push it up to Drew here. Goes for the dribble. Evil Drew Danger able to hold down with the roll. Pass back down to Cows, though. Will find the point. Cross-passing it up into this bottom corner. PLX takes set one. Looks like Cows the MVP, and let's see what we get here. No sparks. No sparks, but there is aerials, and there is Chrono Boost, which could be pretty nice here for this Kai. Looks like a Chrono Boost pick will be the option. 1-2 punch getting hovered by Cows here as well, or by Drew, my bad. And Timeless Creator onto Evil Drew Danger. Knife's Edge onto Appabug. Looks like Vaga opting for that aerials on the Aimi. This will leave Japanese box. Actually goes for the Siege Machine here. Gets some projectile length and, of course, a bit of a harder hitting turret there. So all around, pretty standard draft, I would say. Nothing too crazy for both teams. So we'll just have to see what they make of this going into this next round.
Yeah, one point of contention that I have with that draft is with Unstoppable on this map, I feel like it does give you that added value because you do just get to ignore the black hole on occasion. However, with so many abilities like those glitch pops, the dashes, occasional Dubu log that you have to face tank, it feels like sometimes you can just lose that Unstoppable just sort of in the blink of an eye and then die to something much more meaningful, like with that Knife's Edge getting picked up from Appabug. The pocket really being very difficult to defend just like that. One goes down, Cow is taking the orb, but unfortunately, the core going just sliding straight into that net. No health required. Drew down a couple levels, but still making fantastic plays, even with that XP deficit. Like I said, the stats don't tell the story.
Yeah, and Platinum exclusive still looking pretty strong here, though. Japanese Box is still stuck at level 3. Meanwhile, Cow's over at level 6. So Cow's looking to make up for a bit of that midfield deficit that we saw last game. But that being said, Shikara Chatting taking a lot of damage here. Japanese Box almost got KO'd by Vaga. Did barely manage to stay alive, but Everdrew Danger also taking a bit of damage. It is one barrier to one barrier. Both teams sending it to this top side. Both goalies trying to keep it away from this lock, but energy is coming up here. Core flip comes out from Drew. Gonna stall it out, though. Not gonna be able to find a shot off of that one as it goes back into the hands of Appa Bug, and that is Japanese Box going down there. It's Everdrew Danger pushing up to the enemy goal box. Goes for the core flip, but Cows shuts it down with the barrage, trying to run back in time to save the barrier. Will save it once, but it's not going to be quite enough to save it from that cat cannon. Passing it back up now to Appa Bug. Japanese Box is back online. Cyber swiping up the glitch pop a little bit too far, unfortunately, but Everdrew Danger is right back there to cover it up. Core flip coming out from Vaga, sends it over to Drew, stalls it out, goes for the top side, but doesn't quite get the angle, and now it's back in the hands of Appa Bug. Doesn't quite land the dash punch. Drew getting a little bit bailed out. There was a pass from Cow's going to have another try here. Everdrew Danger shuts it down with the roll, though. Gentaro ult comes out, but it goes back to Japanese Box. Apple Bug goes for the dribble into the shot. Vaga able to hold it down. Japanese Box with another glitch pop self pass. Dribbles it off the bumper. Back to Apple once again. And Chikara Chatting finds the point.
Yeah, on the side of Platinum exclusive, I'm seeing some really nice back passes that just unfortunately aren't paying off. It doesn't mean that they're necessarily wrong, but those 1-2 punch dribbles sometimes can make things a little too fast or a little too awkward. But the only awkwardness now is that Chikara Chatting has lost both of their barriers almost instantly. Applebug looking to take one of their own, manages to find it. Can they get the second one? The flurry coming out, potentially a core flip. Japanese Box with these glitch pops really just holding it down. Even in situations where they don't necessarily win the interaction, they make sure that they don't outright lose it either. Applebug getting that barrier. Now we see the glitch pop attempt to assist, does not quite make it, can't set up for that dash punch. But here the core flip, saving the dash punch, almost losing it to the firewall sentry. Drew taking a guess on that summer assault and not quite getting it, and now they get one kind of chance with that core flip and it doesn't quite make it out. The black hole being popped, and this just seems like a huge tempo swing back and forth. I can't really tell who's going to get the goal here. The Japanese Box with a ton of pressure on them. Drew almost sneaking it in, and Drew, in the face of Drew, flips it and kills it.
Yeah, well, it was very solid there from Everdrew Danger. I think he may have meant to get it to that top corner, but was a little bit too shallow on the angle and ended up dribbling it back down to where Drew was able to reach it with the core flip. But this does bring PLX to the set point now, and with Vaga cyber swiping up, they will bring down that top barrier. Everdrew Danger takes a lot of damage, goes for the backward soup to try and kill Drew, but just ends up hitting his own goal, and now he's stuck on his own soup. It's fine, the core does not go in, and Appa's able to find the KO there. I think that was Appa anyway. Everdrew Danger, nice evade strike there. Tries to pass it back up to Appa Bug in the midfield. Core flip comes out from Vaga. Drew goes for the hit stun onto Everdrew Danger, but doesn't quite find it. Japanese Box now on this bottom side, looking for this barrier. Will win the war against Cows and bring out the firewall sentry, trying to get more, but it's going to go back into the hands of Drew. And with a little bit of Zentaro finesse there, able to sink it in past the Dubu and take the second set. Drew now the MVP. PLX looking to take this second game and possibly bring it to a game 3, as there are a couple sparks on the board here for them to take.
You know, and with this player swap, we are seeing a totally different game. I feel that midfield on the side of Platinum Exclusive has really been popping off this game, making a lot of saves on barriers where even if they don't necessarily save the barrier, they give their team so much time to recollect and reassess how to fight. Here we see Prize Fighter going on to Julie with that knife's edge already, could make these KOs a real threat. Couple sparks going on the side of Platinum Exclusive. The Stagger Swagger pickup from Dubu, a little bit of extra speed might make the difference. And I believe there was a built different from the IME, so we might be able to see a few cyber swipes that go a little bit better, maybe a little bit more presence to help fight Cows. And unfortunately, as they try to fight Cows, they can't take them down. The Cow has been tipped, and now this Tofu Fortress keeping it in. The Donuts really just cutting all that extra space. But now Drew attacking Drew once more. We see Vaga push up. Cow says, okay, well, I'm coming back. You know that I'm coming back. So we have somebody on the defensive. Should it go wrong, just get in there and mess things up.
Applebug going for the dribble into dash punch is not quite going to be enough. Vaga able to get it out there and pass the cyber swipes as well. Back up into the hands of the forwards where Cow's looking to do some work, but Drew finding the big KO there onto Japanese box. Core flip comes out, goes around the back of the barrier though. Always unfortunate to see, but now Vaga cyber swiping up, brings out the cat cannon. Evil Danger having a core flip to try and get it out of there. Bring out the tofu forward as well, but will find the KO onto Cow, so that's pretty big. Japanese box goes for the pass, is interrupted by Vaga's core flip though to try and hold it down while Cows is still respawning, but Applebug finds another kill here on to Drew, and now Cows is back up, but it's still this 2v3 scenario where Chikara Chatting is looking to make something happen here. Evil Danger dribbling it on his side of the field, sending it back up. Drew will respawn here. Japanese box trying to get it over to Applebug. We'll find it here, but Vaga able to clear it out of the dash punch. Keep it out of that goal. And now Drew with the Zen ult in this top side, trying to find this barrier, but Evil Drew Danger will hold it down. Vaga passing it back in, keeping it in the play. Giga from Cows is going to be blocked by the soup here, trying to send it back up to Applebug. Vaga in this top corner, defending for their life here, sending it back over to Drew, over to the top side. Will hit the barrier here as a double KO coming out. Both the midfielders down. Drew finding the dribble into the shot in overtime here. PLX keeps it rolling and just not letting Chikara Chatting get anything.
Yeah, Cows with a couple deaths, looking like the slaughterhouse. However, Drew taking the opportunity to say, if you're going to take out my cow, I'm going to take out your goal. And getting two very good goals, I think, in recent times. You know, with this Zentaro ultimate not getting that kill, but with the passive and the primary, they do. And so now we see Cows on this offensive helping to get it to Drew as they do the Drew off once more. Here, the Cyber Swipe coming in to help, almost dying to that Tofu Fortress. I'm shocked that Vaga did not. Drew, however, stuck in his own ultimate. A little bit of a awkward use case there where it looked really good and looked like it should have gotten a kill, but it almost killed their chances of surviving this round. Drew with the core flip now, able to keep the pressure up even in this 2v3 situation. He says, okay, look, I know that I have a teammate back there. He's a little bit low. He just needs a little bit of time. I'm going to go help with this offense. But unfortunately, Drew takes him out in the face of Drew.
Yeah, and now on match point, energy is up for the side of PLX. They're looking to make a quick work of this last round potentially here as we just jump right into it. Cows immediately Giga Blasting on to kickoff. Drew on the bottom side, able to secure that barrier, goes for the core flip. It will be blocked as Japanese box with the cyber swipes, able to bring down a barrier of his own here. Core flip from Vaga back over to Drew here. Now on the bottom side, the Tofu comes out, goes for the back pass there. Japanese box able to interrupt it, but Cows with the core flip, gonna send it right back over. Drew looking to push in. Evil Drew Danger holds it down though. Cows still from this bottom side, trying to keep this offense going. They really want to bring down this second barrier just as quickly as possible and just end this game 2 and get on with it. But Applebug and the rest of Chikara Chatting still able to hold it down. Apple just dribbling in this top corner, just not letting them clear out here. They will find a way out here on this bottom side, though, as Cows now once again pushing from this bottom side, but Evil Drew Danger still holding it down, and Japanese box as well on this defense, just not letting the second barrier fall as we're about to be entering overtime as well in just a few seconds. Japanese box almost has a core flip up here as well, and a great glitch pop from Japanese box. Absolutely calls out Vaga on that clear and secures that barrier, and now Cows just dribbling against that Tofu Fortress. Vaga sending it back over here. Japanese box taking a lot of damage. Use it or lose it on that core flip. Gets taken out though with the core flip still up. Did in fact lose it as now 3 members of PLX looking to make something happen, but Applebug finds a KO onto Drew. Just the 2v2 now. Cows with the barrage finds the barrier. Evil Drew Danger core flip up to Applebug, not gonna be able to find the point here, but Japanese box respawns, able to control the midfield, sends it back up to Appa, and Chikara Chatting able to score something, but they need so much more. They need to fully reverse sweep this one if they want to seal the deal and not have to go to a game 3.
With those spark of leadership still on the table, though, even if they do get that reverse sweep, there is a ton of pressure to have to deny sparks, especially with 2 players, I believe, already having 2 sparks of their own. The spark of resilience, not as much of a threat, but should spark of cooldown get to Vaga, then you have a really awful situation where suddenly nobody on the team has cooldowns, and when you have a character like Zentaro, who already has seemingly pretty low cooldowns, that could be a lot more of a threat, with Japanese box taking a lot of damage, having a couple of respawns in the previous round. Cows, good job on that defense, helping out, but the glitch pop really just keeping it in Applebug's hands. Like you said, Japanese box really showing up to this game with these glitch pops, and it's almost like something has been awoken in them as they score 2 goals back to back just by having that presence with the extra glitch pop range.
Yeah, now suddenly, this is not looking as sealed of a deal for PLX as a set points. We are on for Chikara chatting. Drew looking for something. We'll find the kill onto Evil Drew Danger with the Zen ult though. So this could be pretty big here as PLX pushing hard. Japanese box on the defense with the turret. Brings out the core flip to clear it out. 4 more seconds till the goalie respawns. Vaga with the cyber swipes though. Blinks up and brings down that second barrier. Evil Drew Danger trying to defend, brings out the soup. Vaga has a core flip up though as well. This is looking very heavily in the side of PLX. Drew's taking a lot of damage, gets knocked around a bit. Apple finds the KO with the punch though, as the player numbers have in fact reversed, but the goal is still open on the side of Chikara chatting. They're gonna have to be patient with this and not make any mistakes. Vaga teleports up, looking for a spot to core flip. Not gonna be able to find it though, but now Cows has a core flip up as well. Zeno coming out from Drew. Evil Drew Danger able to keep it secure in this bottom side. Core flip comes out from Cows. It's blocked by Japanese box though. Great patience there, but pass back up to Drew, dribbling it. Goes for the top side. Evil Drew Danger with the save. It's looking really tight. Pass down to Cows. Back up to Drew. Japanese box on the bottom side. Able to block it though. Vaga sending it back in. Tofu Fortress comes out from Evil Drew Danger, and Vaga still not letting Applebug touch that core. Does not want to get dash punched here. Core flips all the way around. Evil Drew Danger with the roll. Able to block it. The turret comes out. Evil Drew Danger still holding it down. Drew passing it down to Cows, but gets KO'd by Applebug, and now back in the hands of Applebug. Win the strike war. It brings down the turret. Applebug with the flurries in the bottom side. Finds the point. Chikara chatting take the set and are still in this game. They need 2 more though. Can they bring out the reverse sweep? Japanese box the MVP. And there are in fact no sparks on the board here, but a couple other nice things. We'll have to see how this draft goes. It could be pretty important here.
You know, I'm beginning to wonder if maybe this 1-2 punch and the spark of power could be messing up some of these dribbles, these passing plays. Some of them seem like they're a little too fast to get a real grip on, and situations like that come up where you miss the strike and now all of a sudden you're against the wall with a Juliet in your face. What can you really do against that, especially with that knife's edge? We see Primetime coming out for Juliet. Maybe the dash punch will kill a little bit less likely at certain ranges, but honestly, it feels like if Appabug's going for it, it's a guaranteed KO, especially with that prize fighter. And with the rapid fire, there will be just infinite punches coming out, just like there's infinite shots from this Firewall Sentry helping on that offense. It goes up to Cows and Vaga now. They concede the first barrier. They recognize, okay, there's too much going on here. We're not going to waste any resources on this, just like they waste no resources getting that goal. Drew just using a basic strike and getting into that top side as Platinum Exclusive goes up 1-0 in this set, trying to really not take this to a set 5.
Yeah, a little bit of a rough one last time there for Platinum Exclusive, but they, of course, have every chance to just seal this out. They only need 2 more goals to win it. Chikara chatting needs so much more to bring this one back, but with the way they were going last set and with the way they're still honestly going, it could, you know, it's very much within reach. That being said, Japanese box is taken out here as a Platinum Exclusive looking to bring on the second barrier. It will go down with a little help from Vaga here, and now in the midfield, Applebug dash punching it, trying to get it through, has a core flip up, burns it here with a punch, will hit stun them and secure this barrier. Japanese box alive once again, but Evil Drew Danger in this backfield running for his life is super staggered. Drew looking for the KO onto the goalie here, but the core control still in Chikara chatting's favor. Core flip though from Vaga down to Drew, dribbles it, core flips it, finds the shot into the bottom. Great read there from Drew to bring it to match point once again.
Yeah, with those Dubu health changes, you know, it is a little bit easier for that character to get staggered. I believe they have a momentum boost, so they don't even have pauldrons to back them up. And when you have these Juliet dash punching left and right, you know, we've already seen one that looked like it should have killed, but with the damage reduction from Primetime just wasn't able to do it. You know, we have to wonder whether or not that's going to continue to come into play, but right now the only thing in play are the lack of barriers for the side of Platinum Exclusive, as Evil Drew Danger keeping his own, almost whipping that somersault, but just getting it through no problem. And now there's a 2v3 for the side of Chikara chatting. Appabug looking for an opportunity and gets it, strikes it straight through. They say, yeah, we're down 2, but the only point we're worried about is the one we're in right now, and we're going to try to take 2 more in the same way.
They reverse sweep the last set, and they're kind of looking to reverse sweep this set as well. What a crazy comeback that would be, to not only reverse sweep the game, but every single set you're down 0-2 and reverse sweep every single set. It'll be kind of wild story for Chikara chatting here, but This being said, neither team able to get a quick barrier, though. It looks like Drew sending it up to this top side. Japanese box able to respond. Core flips it down to clear it out, but Vaga cyber swiping up will bring down the first barrier here. Cows looking for a shot through. Applebug sending it into this top corner, though. This turret comes out from Japanese box, but both barriers will remain standing on the side of PLX here. Drew in this midfield playing around... Drew and Evil Drew Danger playing around that core flip. It does get whiffed on the air, unfortunately, as Chikara Chatting looking to get this core back out into the field here. Turret comes out from Vaga, though. It's going to be able to hold it down, but Japanese box able to find this barrier on the bottom side. Evil Drew Danger now rolls on it. It's in the Zen ult. Core flips it out of there. Great defense from Evil Drew Danger, but it's going to have to be a little bit more than that. A second roll, though, coming out to stop that Giga Blast. The Twin Drive coming in pretty clutch there, as now Japanese box cyber swiping up to this top side, looking to keep it going. Vaga does burn the core flip on the air, unfortunately, but the barrier will still remain standing. And now we are in this overtime, and both teams have this barrier up. Appa gonna miss the core flip, unfortunately, but they still have a shot here. Japanese box, though, also whiffing the core flip, and that just seems to be the theme this round, is a lot of core flips and not a lot happening. That being said, Appa will find the KO, but Drew able to bring down the barrier, though, and with an open goal, it could be pretty dangerous, as Vaga is still plenty healthy and can do a lot from a long way away. That being said, Japanese box as well brings out that IME turret and is able to bring down the barrier, but gets killed for it, and Drew able to find the point. PLX will take game 2, secure it out. No comeback for Chikara Chatting this time, as we're going into a game 3.
Yeah, even though they've had a little bit of awkwardness on some of these offenses, they have had no trouble. Drew has had no trouble scoring when given the opportunity. Some fantastic dribbles into goals. That 1-2 punch really showing its strength, getting those red cores, especially in overtime, making it almost impossible for a slow character like Dubu to react. 230 saves on the side of Evil Drew Danger, really just holding it down. Fantastic gameplay. 240 for Cows. Not even the goalie, just the midfielder, really just keeping the presence on and in the enemy half, getting it to Drew. Drew, no slouch of their own. Lots of shots taken. Unfortunately, it seemed like Japanese box, even though they were able to keep a lot of that pressure up like they did that last game, especially with those glitch pops like you were saying, it seemed like this time it just didn't quite work out, and we'll have to see if that continues as a theme as we go into this next game, this game 3, or if that was just a one-time fluke and they say, okay, we've got an idea of how you play even with your player swap, now let's crush them. Well, like you said, we're going to be going to Inkies as our third map. We see, looks like everybody's readied up. We're just waiting for the game to come out. Playing on Dallas, I know there's a little bit of controversy between Denver and Dallas. I don't know which one people tend to prefer. But right now, it seems like they're preferring to go to Inkies as this final pick. And now we'll have to see what characters come out. I know that a lot of characters like Estelle, very popular here. Aimee, very great character here. And if Japanese box is allowed to run free on that character, we could see some really great presence in the midfield. However, with those water cannons, much like the firewall sentries, if there's that going constantly and the firewall sentries, it really could just be a mess for both sides' defense. We'll just have to see what characters get picked here.
Yeah, the dreaded Inkies splash zone for a game 3 decider. It's kind of a high variance map, honestly. It kind of, if you get that barrier first, there's a huge advantage with that cannon up to just be able to sink it in and just score. So it's going to kind of come down to who, winning kickoff is very important in this game, but on this map especially, winning kickoff can actively make the difference between winning a round and losing a round. So we'll just have to see how it ends up going. It seems like both teams, at least from what we saw in that last game, if someone was able to win kickoff, they almost immediately got a barrier. But if kickoff was kind of tied, it ended up going into overtime with some barriers still up and it being a very long and drawn out game. So if either side can really bring that quick, immediate offense and just get it through that first round of defenses, bring down that barrier, and then just use the cannon to secure it, is really going to be kind of the decider here. And yeah, goalie presence is going to be a huge thing. Defensive goalies very strong. Stuff like the Aimee, not necessarily as good here. as on stuff like AtLab, but Evil Drew Danger has those defensive goalies, of course, in the bag. The Dubu, the Atlas, all of that stuff. So we'll have to see how they end up playing it. I think we're just waiting for the players to ready up before we get into it. But I'm definitely interested to see how this goes. It's going to be a pretty interesting match for sure. And with everything now on the line in this game three, PLX I am probably wants to keep their undefeated record, if they can. So we'll have to see if they're able to pull it out here or not.
Well, it looks like another potential roster swap, as I believe they're saying that they will sub Wollamau XDD for game three. I'm not sure who they're swapping out for them, but I would have to assume it's the forward player. I know them for their X gameplay. However, we'll have to see who gets swapped where. But just at the moment, we kind of just have to wait for them to make those final roster decisions. And honestly, with this map, with the water being a lot less violent, I personally like it. I don't think it's you did say it was a bit polarizing, which I can understand, especially if you do lose that barrier first. But it reminds me a little bit of Auden City and how there's a lot of open space where if you have that open space to just do whatever you want, sometimes you can just stall for an infinite amount of time. But once it gets onto your half and they press that funny button, all of a sudden all those fun times that you had are going down the drain as now you're fighting for your life. Some characters like Atlas a little bit easier to hold the water gun, but with that lack of mobility, sometimes can struggle in the net, especially with how wide it is. So we'll have to see what kind of picks come out, as we also see what kind of picks come out for the players as we wait to see what roster PLX decides to take.
It would be pretty neat to see Lola Mao get subbed in here. Absolute legend, that guy. So I think we've seen him. Yeah, I believe we have seen him once before play like
Apparently, it
Zentaro
was
or
a joke.
something. Oh, it was a joke.
Yeah,
Dang.
we are joking. A little unfortunate. I was
I'm
looking forward to
sad.
seeing my boy.
I'm a little bit sad, unfortunately, but
Yeah. Well, what can you do? Um, Unfortunately, we just have to wait to see when they do ready up. I don't know if they're just taking a second to take a break, grab some water, remember to hydrate. Regardless, though, it doesn't matter what players they field. I feel like the game is going to be great regardless, and no matter what, we're going to have a great game ahead of us.
yeah, I think so. With how back and forth it's been, these last two games, I have no idea how this is really gonna go, which is of course, uh, what you want to see if you're the spectators. If you're in the game, you want a clean 2-0 series to solidify it. But PLX took the AtLab game pretty decisively, and Chikara Chatting took the Demon Dive game pretty decisively. That being said, both games started off kind of. They had their moments where it was like this. They actually, the winning team didn't actually look like they were going to win for a second, but um, ended up pulling through. And in this scenario, it's like it's very hard to say how this is gonna go. I genuinely am. Uh, I don't really know what to expect. It's just gonna kind of come down to what the not even necessarily picks and bans and stuff. Of course, that's important, but just what the players do. When the time comes to interact with that core, I think is just gonna make all the difference. It's just gonna be all of those little things coming together all at once in this pretty crazy decider of a game three.
We talk about what players are coming out, what character picks are coming out. It seems like the players are locked in. Are there any awakenings you're hoping to see be starting awakenings? The spark of leadership, a little bit polarizing, a little bit difficult to play around at times, really warps the game and the draft. But are there any that you particularly like? Maybe you're a big fan of Siege Machine, or maybe you want to see an all Deadeye start or something. Is there anything that you are, as a spectator, are looking forward to and hoping that we get to see?
I think Siege Machine actually could be kind of interesting, especially if Dubu is pretty strong on this map. So getting that extra range and extra power on like the Tofu Fortress, you can just knock people kind of into the water cannon. Of course, just lock down those water cannon plays. So that could be kind of interesting thing to see. I think the revive, what's it called? Whatever it's called, you know what I mean. The revive drone um, could actually be kind of a weird starting awakening, because I mean, obviously, it's good if you get hit by that water cannon. you're just going to come right back. So that could be potentially kind of neat as well. Of course, Awakenings will, matter more once we get the characters in. If Drew plays that Kazan, then obviously like a twin drive start or something could be pretty wild. Vaga is going to be on that now, looks like. Hovering now, Kazan could be a very deadly combo here, as it looks like it's the Juliet ban coming out against Applebug from the side of PLX, and a Zentaro ban from the side of Chikara Chatting.
With Julia and Zentaro being the bans, I have to imagine that Heavy Impact is one of the starting Awakenings. Really great on both characters. Honestly, they maybe just want to keep that Zentaro away from Drew after seeing what he can do on that character. We see Juno and Aimi come out for Chikara Chatting, really favoring that core control. This could be very obnoxious depending on the starting Awakening, maybe an extra special start. Juno really great at just keeping the core wherever they want, and even if they can't get it, they can stall it long enough for their team to get some possession, maybe get some space. But here we see Dubu, Aimi, Juno versus Kazan, Kai, and I believe now was the pick. It's a little bit difficult to tell. Yep, now was the last pick, and we see Momentum Boots. It was Quick Strikes, and it doesn't matter what the other one was. They just take Quick Strikes.
Oh, looks like there was some kind of issue. We will, in fact, be remaking Real Quicks.
Okay, so apparently, even though it was set to Dallas, it was an East server.
Oh,
I've seen this come up a couple times, but it seems that regardless, they're just going to be restarting the game. Same map, same players, maybe same characters. Depends on the starting Awakening. I look forward to Quick Strike games because it feels like when everybody takes it, it kind of feels like just a little bit of a different game. Everybody's able to go for a little bit more aggressive plays, but for now, we just got to wait until we have players that are on West Coast not having 100 ping to a central server. So we'll have to restart this game and see where it takes us from there.
yeah. So just a quick little restart here for the wrong server, but we'll be getting back into it in just a second. Looks like the players are just kind of deciding right now where exactly they're supposed to be going. But yeah, quick strikes would have been kind of an interesting one, I guess. It puts everyone on at least equal playing field for the most part. But I guess New Awakenings will be coming out, so it doesn't even really matter regardless. So, but I imagine, um, I think bans have to stay the same. I actually don't know for sure the rules on that, but I guess we'll just have to see when we get back into it. But I imagine the picks are probably going to be pretty much the same. Um, I don't see why it would get changed, but regardless, looks like they're just deciding on thing. As we just
We're just chewing through some technical difficulties, but we'll get it sorted out soon enough. I believe that all the players are ready. It's just sort of a matter of this server issue. But the theory is that if it ever goes to someone who doesn't have central access, then it can kind of mess up the lobby. So once everybody's situated, we'll be able to see whether or not that is the case. We have Evil Drew Danger with the lobby owner. I don't know if they have a central perm, so we'll just have to see who gets it and who's able to set it up. It looks like it's getting set up right now, though, so we should be going into this game relatively soon.
yeah, looks like it's been resolved for the most part. Uh, okay, yeah, looks like we're good. So it looks like they're going to be trying Dallas one more time, and hopefully it doesn't break. But the Dallas server has been very somewhat. Sometimes it's been kind of fake recently. It just sends you over to East, so we'll have to see how it goes. But looks like we'll be jumping right back into it in just a second here. Loading in right now. So We are back. We are, in fact, back on track to get on with game 3.
Yep, and as we get in, we have to wait to see what these Starring Awakenings are. I wonder if we'll see the same bands, but at the moment, we're kind of just waiting to find out what the good word is. For this match may also get remade if the server is a little not quite what it's supposed to be. A little surprise, a little East surprise. Quick Strikes 1-2 being the Awakenings. We might see another Quick Strikes lobby, but 1-2 Punch being that offensive powerhouse, we may see perhaps a kill comp come out. But on the side of Chikara chatting, I think with Drew liking that Dubu, I don't think it's going to be them that would pick it. So if anything, it would be the side of Platinum exclusive. But honestly, in a Quick Strikes lobby, if you don't have Quick Strikes and everybody else does, it can just feel impossible to win Strike Wars sometimes, or even just get it through the midfield.
Yeah, it feels really bad being the only person without quick strikes in a lobby. But that being said, 1-2 punch on this Kazan that Drew has picked could also be pretty solid. But looks like pretty much the same rosters coming out. Appa on the Rasmus, Aimi coming out from Japanese box here. Drew Danger, of course, back on that Dubu. Vaga on the Now, and you know, I mean, Cow's on the Kai, but yeah, it's full quick strikes except for Drew did in fact go for the 1-2 punch here, so a little bit less strikes and a little bit more punching going on. But oh, looks like they might be back on East once again. Seems the Dallas server is in fact fake right now.
It seems the
So
servers are possessed, and just as everyone possesses quick strikes, we'd be potentially possessing yet another lobby. I think we're going to Denver, like you said.
yep, yeah, looks like they're going to be going over to Denver real quick. So it looks like a quick little change here as we reset one more time and take it over to the other west or the other central server that is hopefully not as broken right now. But another reset on the Awakenings. If we get quick strikes a third time in a row, it would be kind of crazy, but we'll just have to see. Looks like everyone is pretty much ready, and we should be starting in just a second.
You know, as we go into this game 3, you have to wonder if that high the Platinum exclusive was riding, you know, they can't really ride that into this next game with all these technical difficulties. Both teams are going to be sort of starting fresh, so we have to see if they're able to keep it up even with that bit of delay, whether or not they were just riding that high, like I said, or whether or not Jakara Chatting will say, okay, we've had a bit of a wind down, we're on Denver now, let's just see what we can do, and hopefully with that little bit of a break, they'll be able to bring it around this game 3. But regardless, either way, no matter what side wins, I think we're just going to have a great game ahead of us.
Yeah, I think it's definitely going to be an entertaining one. Looks like bands are, in fact, just going to remain the same. Juliet, Zentaro coming out here, as I imagine the rosters are pretty much going to be the same here as well, as everyone just kind of picks what they need. The Kai, the Now, and the Kazan versus the Aimi, the Dubu, and the Rasmus, most likely. Starting Awakening, of course, going to be different. Maybe. We'll see. Yeah, same rosters as we're about to load into here. Take a look at what we're starting with. It is, in fact, oh, Spark of Agility start all around. Everyone took Spark of Agility here, so it's going to be a big sparking game, potentially, kind of like the last one, but as this match is in fact real this time. I guess quick strikes will not be on the menu for us tonight, at least not to start with. So as we are finally underway with game 3.
You know, and the spark start is really, when you see a spark start, it's secretly a spark of leadership start. You really feel just kind of obligated to take it so that you do have that sort of win con available. Unfortunately, the win con for Chikara Chatting looking like taking out a player very early. Drew, not quite level 2 yet. Not able to really use Kazan's full potential, especially even though you have that strike where you do have the longer strike range. It's, to some people, that does feel like just the difference in the character. Not having that level 2, snapping it up now, though. Now able to apply a little bit more pressure, use that core control from the open primary. We see the water gun come out. Unfortunately, the core does not manage to sneak into it and does not manage to sneak into their half. And so we see a core flip from Japanese box available. We see the somersault, the log come out, the mine come out from Now. And right now there's just a ton of pressure on Chikara Chatting's side, but they may be able to sneak this barrier here. But with Vaga having a core flip of their own, it's looking a little bit tough for the side of Chikara Chatting.
Yeah, the goal open like that. Drew will find the red core in overtime, get it past Evil Drew Danger, pick up the point here as we go into round 2. Yeah, it looks like a pretty decisive energy advantage as well on the side of PLX here. Gonna have it's like 3 core flips up to 2 over on the side of Chikara chatting. So PLX probably looking to take the second point relatively quickly here. Vaga versus Appa here, able to clear it down. Japanese Box brings out the cannon, tries to keep it going, but PLX still in control of that core, able to get it out here as a core flip coming out from Drew's going to get blocked by Appa, now dribbling in this top side, trying to find a way out of the situation, getting it down to Evil Drew Danger to clear it out through the bottom. That'll get the core out for now, but Japanese Box not looking too great. Drew trying to pick up this KO, not quite enough power just yet, but Japanese Box still, of course, in a very scary situation here. Hook comes out from App. Is going to hit Drew and not the core, unfortunately, as PLX still pushing from this top side. Evil Drew Danger core flipping it out. Vaga core flipping right back, and Cows with the core flip will take out Appa Bug in the process here. Evil Drew Danger brings out the Tofu Fortress to keep the barrier up, and Japanese Box with the Cyber Swipes able to secure a barrier of his own. Cannon's going to be coming out here from the side of Chikara chatting, but PLX able to hold it down and not let the core go in there. Appa Bugs, though, pushing from this top side with the pendulum swing to hit stun Vaga, will find the point and tie it all up in this first set, as that was a pretty long round for an Inkies match.
Yep, the pendulum certainly swings going into round 3 of this set, with each side having 1 point. And now we see Drew on the offensive. These mines really able to just sort of put up this offensive force, and just even if you can't be there, you have something at your back. But Cows shooting a Giga Blast to the front, hitting Evil Drew Danger and knocking the core into the net. That round was exceptionally fast. We see Japanese Box holding on to their flip, and a lot of energy kind of lacking on the side of PLX. We'll see if that ends up mattering, as Drew Danger about 2/3 of the way to a flip, and Appa Bug working on one of their own. Right now they got to work on getting this core out of their barrier, going for the quick death touch on Vaga to try to sneak it in, the core flip with the pendulum swing sneaking it in. But now we just have to see how they get through with this Fireball Sentry. The glitch pop, Japanese Box really just putting on a show for us.
Japanese Box just called out Cows on that clear, said, I know you're going to send it into that top little safety angle. I'm just going to throw this up there and just cut that off. So that's Chikara chatting. We'll tie it all up at set point in round 1, and Applebug able to sneak the core past Vaga there, a little bit mistimed on that strike, and now with the cannon coming out, the core getting in, gets sent up to this top side. Applebug is going to get blocked by Cows here, but they still have a shot trying to push it through here, but Drew and Cows able to reconvert, get back this a little bit of their own offense, trying to sneak it past Evil Drew Danger here. Applebug with the strike war, though, able to get it through, pushing it back up, brings out the Whiplash, but gets KO'd for it. And now it's just Japanese Box on the top side, brings out the Cat Cannon to try and keep something going, brings out the Glitch Pop, but Vaga with the core flip, plays it safe. Core flip from Evil Drew Danger, sends it back up, but they're just buying time for Appa to respawn. They still have the barrier up as well here, and an open goal on the side of PLX. Core flip, though, from Cows is going to change that, as the barrier will fall here, and the water cannon up. Vaga hovering near that button here. We'll fire it here, bring down the core, and finds a KO onto Japanese Box in the meantime, as Drew able to pick up the core, shove it through Evil Drew Danger. PLX takes set 1.
You know, with that goes on, you have those millions of hitboxes kind of coming at you, and when you're looking at that water cannon, normally sometimes see people play for the top bounce, but there, Drew just says, you know what, I'm just going to throw a million things at you. I know that you're Dubu. I know you're a good goalie. It doesn't matter, though. Take a look at this. Quick Strikes getting picked up by Cows. Finally, a Quick Strikes game. Team player coming up for Evil Drew Danger, being able to hopefully keep it out of their half. The team player really great on the goalie side. We see Chrono Boost and Explosive Entrance picked up, a little bit more of those dash bonuses. We see Castellas picked up. I would have liked to see Extra Special picked up to try to get a few kills in the water cannon, but realistically they're going for the optimal choice here. And right now they're looking for the optimal offense as they go on this barrier.
Yeah, pretty decent draft all around for kind of both teams. That heavy impacts on Drew is definitely going to be really solid, as with an open goal like that, just able to dribble it, kind of finesse it around Evil Drew Danger there. Went for the roll, didn't quite reach it. A very quick point coming out from PLX. Looks like an 11-second goal there to start off this round. No big energy changes here either, as going into this next one now, PLX kind of winning this kickoff here, pushing it down, able to secure that barrier. Evil Drew Danger not quite fast enough to reach that bottom corner in time. Now going to have to find a way to clear it out of this open goal here. Japanese box with the cyber swipes into glitch pop, gets it through Vaga and secures a barrier of his own, and now trying to get it back over to Appabug. The water cannon comes out though, and Japanese box is taken off the map once again. Evil Drew Danger firing a water cannon of his own, just trying to buy a little bit of time, but Drew dribbling, trying to find a shot here, but on the goal, and Appabug, oh no, the whiplash was a little bit mistimed there, kind of helped Drew sink it through. PLX will take the second point there. A bit of an unfortunate scenario, but that was certainly a tough one for chatting to deal with.
I think the name Whiplash there perfectly describes what we just had in that situation. One thing I'm liking to see from this PLX side is that they're letting Drew start bot side every time to try to funnel that offense into the short side. Because on Ankies, it feels like if you have to go on this long side like Japanese boxes now, it can be difficult to get it through. But Drew having no problem getting it through Evil Drew Danger, as that water cannon really just holds it in place and says, "The core for you, my lord."
Yeah, I mean, for real, it just delivered it right to him. And now up 2 sets here, 3-0 now. Vaga, the MVP, a lot of kind of neat things here on the board. You got Prime Time, you got Rapid Fire, you've got Fight or Flight. You kind of got everything that your team could want. Rapid Fire will go over to Vaga. Looks like this Kazan could be eyeing up the Prime Time potentially. Actually, he's going to go for Fight or Flight instead here. Recovery Drone onto the Rasmus, as Japanese Box is going to be going for that built diff Prime Time on the Kai instead, though. And Demo kind of having to fall over to Evil Drew Danger. Glass Cannon is on the board here, but opted for the size and that potential kind of cooldown there. A bit of an interesting pick. We'll see if it pays off or not. This is kind of an all or nothing round for Chikara chatting here, so just kind of have to throw everything at the wall to try and take this back and try and find that elusive reverse sweep. Japanese Box is pretty hurt here, taking a lot of damage, but the barriers are still up. Japanese Box in the bottom side, cyber swipes up, can't quite find the shot through Vaga though, as Evil Drew Danger getting it back to Appabug, past Japanese Box, back to Appa, but Vaga holds it down with the now secondary. Great defense there, as now Vaga sending it back up to Cows. Appa going for the hook, but doesn't quite reach it in time. Now Evil Drew Danger on the defense, trying to protect it from Drew as Vaga teleports up, but the barrier will still stand here. Japanese Box cyber swipes up into the clear, able to secure the barrier there, as now the goal is open. Drew does have a core flip up though. Cannon comes out, but Drew with the core flip, able to send it right back at you and bring down the barrier, but Appa with the hook into Vaga, able to grab that core, yoink it up, and just deliver it right in the top side of that goal. Chikara chatting will take their first point this round.
One thing I'm curious about is with this recovery drone, in this match, it doesn't really seem like players are getting KO'd, but that water cannon cutting off some potential clears. I wonder if this recovery drone will ever come into play where there may be a clear that needs to happen, but normally you couldn't because of the water cannon, and Ababug says, "I'll take one for the team, burn my recovery drone, and sneak it out." Right now, they just have to get it out of their half. No sneakiness here, a core flip to use. The death touch on Cows to keep the offense alive, but unfortunately, these Now Mines really just putting out a ton of pressure and making it difficult to get out of the defense here. The recovery drone, like I said, though, just instantly used. Drew getting an excellent open primary on the Rasmus. And then we just kind of have to see how they're going to get it past Cows as they attack on the long side of the map here. Japanese Box, though, really showing off what they can do on this IME. Drew showing off what they can do on this defense, and Drew showing off what they can do on this offense with the open primary hitting the core and Evil Drew Danger and scoring a point.
PLX keeping it up with this point coming back in. I mean, they're looking very solid here. Appa not, of course, on the Comfort Juliet. Can't quite apply as much forward pressure, especially against this now. Vaga has been very solid on the defense, and with a big KO there from Cows onto Japanese Box, could be a little bit of a big power play coming out here. Drew with the back pass down to Cows, back up to Drew, gonna secure that barrier. Great passing plays there, and Cows once again sending it up to Drew to win the strike war against Appabug. PLX bringing it to match point, and they are ready to just take it all and keep their perfect record. They are 1 point away from winning this series and being 8-0.
These are some really pinpoint back passes, looking a little scary at times. Drew using that core flip, a lot of damage coming out, looking scary as well. But now we have to see how this offense works out. Vaga with that core flip, unfortunately mistimes it a little bit, losing the barrier. Japanese Box losing some health, and we could see this water cannon take it. Oh, but the goalie gets lost as well, and now Appabug dribbling it and taking a point, as now we potentially go into a third set. But right now, if PLX gets this last point, if they've been playing their offense like they have been, we could be looking at match point here.
Yeah, a little bit of a mess up there from Vaga to stand in that where that cannon was gonna be, but they're gonna fire right back. PLX bring down the barrier almost immediately off the kickoff. Evil Drew Danger does have a core flip, and so does Appabug, but great clear there from Vaga. Gets it past Japanese box. Evil Drew Danger goes for the core flip, but Drew with the interrupt, able to strike for it through, find the point. PLX take game 3 and the series. Remaining undefeated, PLX Platinum exclusive are 8-0 and looking absolutely solid.
When you are the side of Jakar chatting, do you think you have to feel bad knowing that you didn't even play against the main roster? They just threw people at you and it managed to work out? Or do you look at that game and say, you know, I think we had some really great moments. We just need to shore up a couple things and come back in the next game and hopefully get the seeding up as they play their next game on week 9 of NASA?
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of a tough one. I mean, I think a team like Platinum exclusive, like it's hard to feel bad losing to them with just because of how great that they've been playing this entire season. I mean, no one has been able to beat them. So I feel like if you're Chikara chatting, it doesn't necessarily feel bad that like you couldn't beat them, but of course now you have another loss on your record. I think they still look pretty good for playoff contention, but you know, of course, you want to get wins when you can take them. But of course, Platinum exclusive they're just the team to beat right now. They are just seemingly immortal, no matter who they field. They just have the synergy. They just have the skill really to you know, looks like they're gonna be the ones to take it all.
You know, and I feel a little bad because on the Platinum exclusive side, I only knew a couple of names, but really they're making names for themselves here. It doesn't matter if I know them. At the end of the day, they're going to make sure that I know who they are. And with gameplay like that, if they keep that up, I'd really love to see where they end up at the end of the line. But right now, we're just waiting a little bit. I believe we have next, it is Plink Plonk versus Core Strike Requiem, I believe, are the teams. If you
Yeah,
could
Plink
correct me on that.
Plonk and Core Requiem is going to be our next series coming up in just a bit. Let me look at the thing real quick so I can make sure I get this right. I think I know that. Yeah. Plink Plonk is currently 5-2, sitting at kind of a three-way tie. In second, Chatting did just get knocked out of that, now 5-3, but Core Requiem kind of middle in the pack here, 4-3 right now. So this is definitely a week that they're looking to take a win. You know, if they lose these next 2 weeks, it's not going to be great. You know, this is kind of crunch time for the middle of the pack teams, and Core Requiem is about as middle as you can be. Plink Plonk as well is in the same boat as Chikara Chatting was, so an extra win will definitely help solidify their playoff spot, but a couple losses at the wrong time, and if a couple other lower ranked teams win, it could be a bit of an upset, but they're still looking very solid right now. So Core Requiem, much more important for them to win this one, I think, than Plink Plonk. But of course, Plink Plonk wanting to secure the W as always.
And as I look at these rosters, Xeno Gemini, Loki, Striker Kai, all names that I've recognized. And on the side of Plink Plonk, we've got Muffin Koei, TTJ Dog, and Just Logan, also all players that I recognize. So these are definitely not slouches of players. I mean, they've definitely made a name for themselves both in the community, regardless of what their standings may be right now. The only question that I have is which team is going to be better.
Yeah, of course. And personally, I quite enjoy watching Plink Plonk. They have always put on some very entertaining games. So you know, this is probably going to be no exception here, but we do know the maps real quick. Requiem picking Night Market for game 1, Plink Plonk going for Tycho on game 2, and then a game 3 potentially on Demon Days once again. But we're going to be taking it just a quick break here while we wait for everyone to show up and get ready. So stick around. We'll be right back with Core Requiem versus Plink Plonk in just a minute. Welcome back, everyone, to NASA Week 8. We're about to be getting into our last series of the day, Core Requiem versus Plank Plonk. And our game one is going to be on Night Market as well, kind of the classic map here. And both of these teams looking pretty solid. Plank Plonk 5-2 and Core Requiem at 4-3. Anyway, if Core Requiem wins this one, they will get a spot into the playoffs. Plink Plonk, meanwhile, has already confirmed a spot in the playoffs, but if they win this one, they guarantee that they will start in winner's side. So, potentially a pretty important game for both sides, as obviously, if you're Requiem, you want to get into those playoffs, and if you're Plink Plonk, getting to start in that winner's side could be pretty epic. So both these teams I've followed a fair bit, gotten to cast for a lot. So I think this is definitely going to be a pretty exciting one to watch.
And as you introduce us to these teams, as we get into this match on Night Market, we see potentially a Juno ban. These players like Loki, I know them for their Juliet. I've seen them many a time in ranked. But what I have a question for you is, since you've been following them for much longer and casted more of their games, what are some things that you are looking forward to as someone who has seen them play multiple times and has sort of seen the ups and downs of them?
Well, personally, for me, Moffin Koei is kind of just one of my favorite goalies to watch. He plays those a little bit off picks. Rasmus and Kazan goalie are kind of like the notable picks for him. So that's personally one of my favorite things in terms of watching Plink Plonk here. But Xeno Gemini as well, Striker Kai and Loki NB are a very solid trio and always put on a pretty stellar performance, very entertaining games. And looks like a pretty standard loadout here from both sides. Loki NB on the Juliet, the Atlas coming out here from Xeno Gemini, and Striker Kai on the Drakkar, J-Dog on the Imi, just Logan on the Juliet here, and Moffin Koei on the Kazan. Of course, it is in fact an extra special and Knife's Edge start. Oh, looks like just Logan might be having some potential connection issues here in just a second. But yeah, everyone took Knife's Edge except for J-Dog, opted for the extra special on the Imi.
Apparently, we are having a bit of a controller issue. We are on Denver, though, and it seems like we have a stable connection, with that Dallas server. We were having a little bit of trouble. It's like as we swap it to Denver, we now have pretty much a guaranteed stability. Whether or not it's the ideal situation for the players is a different story, but it's better than having nothing at all or being stuck on East when you've got some West players on your team. Right now, we're just waiting for Jess Logan to sort of figure out what's going on there. So from my understanding, in certain situations, you'll see teams, they'll just play out the first point and then fix it on the second one. But right now, they're just saying, you know what, we'll take a minute to chill. We don't need to rush this. We're fine with just playing against each other. And right now, we see them playing on this defense as they go to defend these barriers. And this Kazan goalie, like you said, a really, really interesting character. When they get team player, it's a totally different ballgame. But until then, you just sort of got to see this overtime, though, instantly sparking the core. No power required. We just got to see how they do on this defense as they honestly hold it down pretty well.
Yeah, Moffin Koei, probably the best of the Clarion Corp goalies. There's not too many people that just play like the Kazan goalie, of course, but Moffin Koei has definitely kind of mastered it, and it always does very solidly on this. Seems to be the favorite for Night Market as well. But of course, Core Requiem, no joke either. They've definitely done some pretty amazing stuff here. And Loki MB now hitting that level 2 is going to have access to that flurry. He's burning it here, but Moffin Koei still able to hold that down with the core flip in the back pocket. The defense could be very solid here from the side of Plink Plonk, as that's going to get red core every time in overtime. And there we go. Just Logan able to secure both the barriers there. Xeno Gemini does have a core flip up if necessary. Loki NB going to be earning there's up pretty shortly here as well. Moffin with the pass over to just Logan all the way around the world. Dash punches it for the point and scores Xeno Gemini as well. Big first round for the side of Plink Plonk.
And with Night Market, even if you aren't this defensive powerhouse, somebody like Atlas, a lot of the times it feels like the barriers are playing defense for you up until the point where your net's open. So having that little bit of extra offense, if it does go into overtime, the ability to just spark the core left and right. A lot of the times you do have these kind of up and down clears, so having that extra strike range could be a big deal, and the extra power to send it around the world when players are playing with Knife's Edge, they have that extra speed. And in the goal net, sometimes you have that extra power as well, getting the benefit of the Knife's Edge. So it just makes those clears a little bit easier at times, though sometimes a little bit hard to control for your team, as if they aren't ready for it, it can just slip right past them. Right now, Just Logan's trying to slip past this defense, but unfortunately not really able to set up the dash punch. Striker Kai doing an excellent job helping out the goalie. As now Xeno Gemini goes for the clear, misses the strike shot. Accidents happen, but as we see, we now push onto the offense for the blue team. And Loki not quite able to land that dash punch. The Kazan open primary really working wonders here, as now we go into this tempo swing back onto the side of red team. As they send it back, Just Logan not really able to set things up quite yet. Striker Kai doing an excellent job in this midfield, just holding it down, saying you get one touch on the core, and then after that you've lost your privileges.
And now Striker Kai in this overtime looking for the pass to Loki NB. A little bit of Night Market angles going on here, but Moff and Koei finding the clears into these back pockets to keep it held down, winning a strike war there, sending it back up to Just Logan, trying to get his hands on it, but can't quite reach it, unfortunately. And now back in the hands of Striker Kai, shotgunning it through J-Dog. Loki NB able to find the strike, redirects it into the bottom corner there. It's Core Requiem are going to fire right back, and I have a sneaking feeling that this is going to be one of those games where it's just going to be each team matching their goals back and forth, and could very well be a set 5 unless something pretty insane happens. That being said, Loki MB will find the KO onto the opposing Juliet here and score a barrier off of it as well. As now Striker Kai dribbling up the field, Xeno Gemini right behind him, able to kind of provide a little bit of backup there. Just Logan will respawn here. So Loki MB takes a lot of damage. The Atlas ult, though, comes out from Xeno Gemini. Keep him nice and healthy. Striker Kai trying to look for this barrier. Loki MB passing it up here. Moff and Koei burning the core flip, fortunately on the air, but Loki MB also burning the core flip on the air. Will secure the barrier with the dash punch regardless, though. As with a 2-barrier advantage now, Core Requiem looking to take this second point here. J-Dog with the dribble, passes it around to Just Logan. Doesn't quite earn anything off of it, though. And now back to Moff and Koei trying to send it back up with the glitch pop. Just Logan once again getting shut down by the Atlas primary. Core flip from J-Dog, passes it up, but Xeno Gemini wins the strike war and keeps both barriers up still as we enter this overtime. Unfortunately, a little ricochet there will result in one barrier going down. Core flip coming out with a flurry from Just Logan will block it, but Xeno with a great clear down to Striker Kai will keep the second barrier up for now. Nice little strike shot there as well to keep it locked down. Just Logan looking for another try, but can't get it past the Atlas secondary. Gemini is just holding it down against this Juliet, but so is Moff and Koei, as it has not been scored at all yet. Koei sending it all the way down to Just Logan. Will earn the barrier, but it's going to get sent right back. Striker Kai able to find it through with the Drek ult as Core Requiem bring it to set point.
These rounds are looking like games of stamina, where even if the player's health isn't going down, their mental stamina might be. This is our first game in the set. If the rounds are going this long, this fast, it takes a lot of ability to really just keep track of what all is going on, just like how you lose track of that Juliet and get dash punched, as now they have a 3v2 offense for Core Requiem. We'll have to see how Ping Pong Bonanza holds up on this defense, unfortunately losing their barrier in the power play and not getting one of their own quite yet.
Yeah, now a bit of a reverse situation from the last round, as 2 barriers are up for the side of Plinkplunk. I say that, and Requiem is able to bring down 1 here. Striker Kai and Xeno both with core strikes potentially up. Kai burning it right there. Trying to get it in the hands of Loki NB. Moffin trying to hold it down, but will lose the barrier here. Core flip into punch from Loki, but it is blocked by the defenses of Plink Plunk Bonanza. Now J-Dog trying to send it up to Just Logan with the glitch pop, but Striker Kai able to get it out of there. Trying to send it back up to Loki NB here in this bottom corner. Goes for the dribble into dash punch. Will find it through Moff and Koei. And that's Core Requiem taking set 1.
Honestly, a really good set. A lot of good use of that Knife's Edge, and honestly, with how fast the core was going, the players were able to keep up just fine. We see the team player being hovered by Drakkar, potentially denying the Kazan. If you let Kazan get that team player, it's just core flip feeling left and right. It feels like you can never get it into their half and never keep it there. But now we see Sparks being picked up, a potential new win con for the sake of Kazan. We see Fighter Flight and Twin Drive being picked up for the Juliets. The Fighter Flight giving a little bit more midfield presence and ability to set up these plays, whereas Twin Drive giving that more brute force. Hot Shot coming out for Atlas, the cooldown reduction, quite nice. And this is explosive entrance for Aimi. Honestly, everybody got something pretty good. You would say maybe the loser of that draft is Moffin, just not getting a spark, not really getting anything that's like really shiny, but potentially that could become a huge threat later down the line.
Yeah, especially if this game ends up being close and going long. That's where the sparks end up being very important, because you're able to kind of collect all of them. Plink Plonk, though, able to bring down both barriers here. Requiem firing back with one barrier, looking for a second one, but can't quite hold on to the core long enough. Gemini dribbling it, trying to get it back up into this midfield, but Moffin now sending it back up to just Logan. The Atlas primary is going to shut that down, but going to have another try here as it gets a pass back up, and with a dash punch and a little help from J-Dog, will be able to find the point. Plink Plonk able to take the first point in this set here.
And I'm seeing the strike shot on Xeno Gemini. I think on a map like this, sometimes if it's a little more open, it can be pretty easy to snipe some of these passes. But when it's all congested like this, sometimes a player will take the shot for you. Whether or not that'll be the difference in saving these goals is a different story. But right now, Moffin gets it to J-Dog. J-Dog with a flip could potentially save something. Unfortunately, they can't save their own barrier, as Logan goes for the hit, gets both barriers. And now we have a situation where Logan is looking like a enemy in an RPG, because they're just punching him out and seeing if anything drops.
Yeah, and now just Logan being the one taking a lot of damage. Xeno Gemini with the Atlas secondary finding the KO there. So potential power play coming out from the side of Core Requiem, but J-Dog is holding it down in this midfield, just dribbling it. Has the core flip up just for insurance as they buy enough time for just Logan to respawn. Moff and Koei finding the KO, of course, onto Loki right now, as the tides have turned. Glitch pop self pass from J-Dog right into a core flip all the way to the bottom side. Great play from J-Dog there. Plink Plonk look like they're going to bring it back a bit, bring it to set point 2-0 now.
It feels like a lot of these power plays we've been seeing today haven't really turned into these monstrous powerhouse plays like the name kind of suggests. But right now we see a power play on the offensive as Loki getting that kill with the help of Striker Kai. They now have a power play on the bottom barrier, but it looks like they're swapping to the top lane. A little bit of confusion here as they can't get their core to Loki. Loki setting up for a dribble, setting up for a punch, gets one barrier, but J-Dog back in the mix. Now we'll have to see whether or not this 3v3 ends up just as their 2v3 did and they lose another, or if they'll be able to get a barrier of their own.
Yeah, core flip now coming out from Moffin. Passes it to this top side, but Loki finds another big KO on to J-Dog this time. Gemini up in this midfield with the core flip just in case. Passes it down to Striker Cry, trying to make something happen, but just Logan able to get it around. Gemini is going to make the Atlas ult kind of send it backwards there and pick up one barrier as J-Dog is back online now. Just Logan dribbling up the field, brings out the flurries, but Gemini will be able to find the clear. J-Dog, though, will find the pass up, give just Logan another chance, and earn the barrier and the core flip here. Moffin Koei now trying to keep control. Great little hook there to keep the barrier up, and great strike war from Moffin against that the flurries from Loki to keep that barrier up as we enter this overtime. Just Logan dribbling, but the Atlas secondary from Xeno is going to shut it down. However, J-Dog able to send it through back to just Logan. Plink Plonk take a set 3-0 and tie it all up now. Moffin Koei, the MVP. See if there's anything potentially huge. A spark of leadership is on the board, and Moffin, the only one building spark so far. See, yeah, it's going to be a spark of leadership pickup. So this is suddenly a pretty big issue for Core Requiem.
Yeah, they get that spark of leadership, and then they also get 1-2 punch on Julie. This could be catastrophic for the side of Core Requiem, as now that's 2 huge spikes in power. Recovery drone, not that impressive. The quick strikes being a good addition on Striker Kai. Strike is in the name, and they've been doing a great job in this midfield holding it down. The extra cooldown on the strike might be able to help them, but unfortunately it doesn't help that barrier as they lose it instantly. Loki also missing out on that potential dash punch, and so now we have to see where this pressure ends up as they get it back onto the side of Core Requiem. And that firewall sentry not really doing them any favors. It was a good to deny space, but it didn't deny enough space to get a barrier, and now we have to see if Xeno Gemini can clear this out.
Yeah, I think the recovery drone is actually maybe a little bit more helpful than you might think, because Loki did pick up Prize Fighter, and with how many KOs he's been getting onto J-Dog, it could actually be kind of useful, as it'll deny if Loki does find the dash punch, it will deny at least one Prize Fighter stack, so it kind of nullifies that a little bit. But yeah, overall, the spark of leadership is still the noble, like right there. J-Dog back alive, and no stacks coming out for Loki right there. But that being said, Striker Kai just gonna push up, core flip it right into the bottom. But Loki and B, great hit stun onto J-Dog and Moffin right there, allowed them to just not even have the opportunity to react with the core flip or with the strike or anything. As Requiem keeps it up, brings out another point here, and with Loki having core flip up, of course I say that, and immediately just gets burnt on the air. So a little bit of an unfortunate caster curse, I guess. But there it is. Loki will find the KO that time and earn a prize fighter stack. And J-Dog losing the core flip as well is going to be pretty big. They will bring down one barrier here. Looks like they're trying to go for more. Xeno Gemini whiffing a little bit of projectiles, but able to get it out of there regardless. J-Dog back online now, getting it up to just Logan. The Atlas secondary is going to shut that down, though. Moffin passing up to the top. Loki blocking the pass with the dash punch, earns a barrier there. Great play as now Moffin on the defense here. Trying to hold it down. J-Dog on this top side. Cyber Stripes brings out the turret, trying to go for this top one, but just Logan taking so much damage. Will find the dash punch to bring down the barrier, but just getting bounced around by Xeno Gemini. Will manage to stay alive, however. Now Loki NB looking for a shot. J-Dog versus Loki NB. J-Dog winning the strike war, able to get it out of there with the Cyber Stripes. Has a core flip up now. The Atlas Primary sending it all the way around as we enter this overtime. Moffin looking for the clear, sends it around the bottom. The strike shot sends it right back, but Moffin having to fight Loki and BM with the longer strike will be able to win it, get it back up to just Logan, and the barrier will fall here. The turret comes out from J-Dog, is in this top corner. Moffin holding it down. Core flip from J-Dog, sends it around, but Xeno with the Atlas secondary is going to cut off that pass. J-Dog trying to get it up to just Logan, trying to find this dash punch, this confirm, but the strike shot from Xeno is helping a lot to keep it away from there. However, it's not going to be quite enough, as J-Dog going to be successful that time in getting it around this these defenses and finding the gap in the armor. Also earns Xeno's core flip, and of course Plink Plonk ties it up once again.
I feel like to some degree we are seeing a little bit of a weakness in that recovery drone, though, as J-Dog, it did save the flip the first time, but then instantly lost it again. I feel like the issue with recovery drone in matchups like this is where if you're dying once, it's great. If you're dying a bunch of times, it doesn't save you from dying a bunch of times, and if you're just not dying at all, you're just not getting any value out of it. So we'll have to see if we can prevent those dash punches from continuing to keep the pressure up and keep those racking those kills up, or we'll see if Loki can get this barrier here as they try to get it out of their half. Xeno Gemini with the expanse, good at keeping it out. Core flip comes out, dash punch comes out, a little bit low on resources now to actually secure this goal, especially against a character like Kazan, where that hook has a very low cooldown and he has lots of options to keep it away from you. And Juliet, being a little bit of a slow striker, not able to just match that sort of presence. Much like that presence of just Logan in the net getting the kill on the goalie. And now we see J-Dog flip it into the top part of the barrier, and a point goes to Plink Plonk Bonanza.
Now Plink Plonk, the ones on set point here, just Logan. Gonna have a core flip, but Striker Kai, of course, has one up as well as we are into this match. Core flip from Striker Kai. It's gonna be blocked by Moffin, though, keeping that barrier up. Is now J-Dog in this top corner looking for some barriers of his own over just Logan, pushing up. Gonna be able to core flip and dash it right into that top barrier, looking for the second one as well. Not gonna quite find the angle, but J-Dog is still up there. Striker Kai, however, in the midfield, able to clear it back out, get it up to Loki and B as they fire back with a barrier of their own. And now just Logan dribbling in the top side, not quite able to retain control of it, though, is now back to the hands of Loki and B. Passed down to Striker Kai. They're looking for this bottom barrier, but Moffin is able to hold it down. Dash comes out from Loki and B, but it's still not quite enough. And now J-Dog firing it down to a glitch pop, looking for an angle. Moffin pushing up just a little bit to keep it going, but can't get it through this midfield presence, unfortunately. Striker Kai on this Drakkar is a very powerful threat. So much interrupting, so much cutting of the passes going on. It's just part of what makes Core Requiem so powerful is this midfield presence. That being said, J-Dog will be able to find the second barrier as Xeno Gemini trying to find this angle on the goal line, but just a little bit too wide. It will be Plink Plonk taking the set, and J-Dog, the MVP, Oh, a couple nice things on the board here for both sides. No sparks, though, for Moffin. So see what J-Dog is going to go for the Timeless or opts for the Heavy Impact, actually, instead to deny the Drakkar. Pretty smart pickup there. And Timeless will go over to the Atlas, though. Looks like Moffin waiting, not taking the Spec Training just yet. We'll let the Juliet pick up the Spec Training. Goes for Unstoppable instead. Prime Time on to Loki as well. So kind of interesting draft here.
Yeah, I feel like it's a little tough because when you go to the deny the Drakkar with that heavy impact pick, Drakkar still has access to things like missile propulsion, unstoppable even being pretty good, especially with all these dash punches coming out just like that. J-Dog almost dying to one. And with the prime time being picked up by one of the Juliets, it could make that dash punch a little bit more difficult to kill at times. Maybe it gives a little bit of breathing room as you deny them 2 other awakening choices, so they're stuck with that prime time. It does mean more chances to punch, though. Just there, just Logan almost getting it, the 1-2 punch, almost securing the kill with the knife's edge, but just not quite there yet. Striker Kai going on this offensive. Loki trying to get the ball, but they just can't get it past this massive strike range, and now we have to see how they can get this last barrier as the Expanse covers the entire lane. Not really sure how you defend against that, or offend against that. Here we see the Fireball Sentry get the barrier, and now we see 2 people defending against this core flip as they're trying to keep this pressure up while Xeno is getting almost okied by this Juliet.
Yeah, now J-Dog cyber swiping up to this top side. That's a core flip. Not going to need to use it, though. It's just Logan on the rebound. Is going to be able to dash punch it in. Plink plonk, keeping the momentum going, earning their first point here. And yeah, I mean, this is Monumentalist Timeless Creator Atlas. So that secondary is just going to take up a massive part of the map. And Loki MB will be the first one to find a barrier here this round on that bottom side. J-Dog looking to push up and try and claim this top barrier, but the big Atlas Expanse from Xeno is going to shut that down. J-Dog, though, going to be able to try again with the Cyber Swipes. Will be able to secure it here. Moffin trying to send it up. Core flip from Striker Kai is going to be blocked by Moffin Curry, though. Xeno does have a core flip in the back pocket, but just Logan going to be having his up pretty shortly as well. Great little hook there from Moffin to keep it away from Loki MB, but still in this bottom corner, Loki will find the core flip into punch to bring down the barrier. There's now Striker Kai trying to get back up into this top corner. Moffin trying to clear it down here. Core flip coming out from J-Dog, sends it all the way up. Moffin able to get it through Loki MB on a nice little defensive play there. Now just Logan can't get it past the Atlas secondary, though, unfortunately, as they're back on the defense once again. Loki looking for the shot, the strike shot, able to keep it in there. Striker Kai just getting beat up in this midfield, but still able to apply some of this pressure, keeping it up in the other side of the field, striking it back up in this bottom corner. Core flip from Moffin to send it out as J-Dog cyber swipes up, capitalize on this top lane, but they're not able to find anything, get anything going. Is now still in this bottom corner. Striker Kai now passing to Loki, and B finds the shot right between J-Dog and Moffin into the bottom corner. Core Requiem, great round there, just constantly keeping it in that corner. Plink Plonk just couldn't get out of there.
Death by 1,000 cuts in that bottom lane. Even if they can't get it through right away, Striker Kai using excellent awareness to keep the pressure up. The glitch pop getting sniped out by the shotgun. And they really just had a great offense there where even if they couldn't get it right away, they didn't need it right away. As right now they're going for right away on this goal, but unfortunately not quite getting it. The goal gate's not fully developed yet as Loki goes for a flurry here, but the core does not make it to him. And now we have to see 1 dribble, 2 dribble, a punch, a miss. Striker Kai in the mix. The Atlas ult coming out to protect against that dash punch, but we just can't get this through. The Fireball Sentry helping out as well. Moffin really just doing an excellent job on this defense, but it looks like both barriers go down for the side of Core Requiem. So now with a core flip on J-Dog, they could use that to get down to Logan, but with Xeno having a flip of their own, it's a little difficult to tell which offense is going to be on the offense here.
Core flip coming out from just Logan there, but it's not going to pay off too much. Core flip whiffed by Striker Kai, unfortunately. Now J-Dog tries to go for the dribble. Loki able to cut the pass to interrupt that, though. Now pushing it into this top corner. Striker Kai right there to back him up. J-Dog trying to get it down the field here, but just not able to quite capitalize. Great cyber swipe, but Xeno with the core flip able to block, send it back up to Loki, and B can't find the angle on the dash punch, though. Striker Kai taking a lot of damage. Core flip from J-Dog gets it past Striker Kai, and Xeno stuck in the Juliet. Hit stun, it looked like. Finds the shot, and Plink Plonk have brought it to match point in a pretty close contest here. Just need to try and close it out.
Honestly, with how back and forth this match sort of started, it feels like it's closed out in a blink of an eye. You know, Moffin on this defense, J-Dog on this midfield, Logan with the kills. The dash punches are going crazy And now we see the extra speed here as Logan tries to move it up, but they just can't yet. But it's okay because J-Dog in the midfield controlling the speed gate, getting it to Logan no matter the cost. Moffin holding it down, giving that extra little bit of presence, the extra bit of speed. And now we see the open primary come out, really just nothing able to get past this midfield of J-Dog. But the strike shot, a good clear, denying the Juliet, saying, alright, I can't beat the dash punch, so I'm just going to keep the core from getting to you. Striker Kai using good awareness to keep between the two players, the shotgun coming out to keep it in their half. But it's looking a little difficult when you have these massive hitboxes just sending it past you, and another core flip for J-Dog coming out. It feels like they just had one, am I insane?
Yeah, I mean, the core flips have been pretty notable. J-Dog just been not really evading too much, not really needing to, so keeping that energy on lock. And now in this overtime, J-Dog on the bottom side, Cyber Stripes down, goes for the core flip. Just Logan finds the KO, but the goal doesn't come out just yet. There, however, receiving the pass from Moff and Koei will find the shot past Striker Kai. Plank Plonk taking game one, 3-1, pretty solidly, but that was still a pretty close one. Could have gone either way, I think. But we'll have to see how it goes now in game two. Let's take a look at these stats here real quick. Yeah, ooh, 310 redirects from Striker Kai. That's pretty insane. 116 shots as well. Striker Kai was just keeping the pressure up, but just wasn't quite enough, unfortunately, versus the power of Plink Plonk. 265 from Muffin Koei, 242 from J-Dog. Just putting up pretty solid. And 132 saves from Muffin Koei as well. Very substantial. The defense on the side of Plink Plonk was just so powerful.
If my basic math skills are correct, Striker Kai having more redirects than the rest of the entire team, really just showing that prowess in the midfield. Like you said, I feel like Xena was a little bit scared that game. It seemed like they had a couple times where they knew what to do. It was just a little preemptive or a little too late. But honestly, with that offense from Moffin, J-Dog, and Logan, I can understand being a little hesitant to make a choice, especially when it feels like no matter what choice you make, it's the wrong one. But sometimes you just got to make a choice, even if it is wrong. And as we go into this next game, we'll see what choices they make in the character select screen, as well as what the starting awakenings are. But honestly, the stats on this last game are brutal.
Yeah, very solid performance from Plink Plonk. But game two coming out now. It's going to be on Taiko Temple. And let's see, I'm going to check real quick. Night Market was Core Requiem's map pick. Taiko Temple is Plink Plonk's pick. And Taiko, a little bit more of a specialized map than something like Night Market or Atlab. So Plink Plonk likely picking this knowing kind of their strengths on it. So I imagine they have a pretty solid advantage going into it, especially coming off a very solid win like that. So interested to see how they manage to close it out, or if Core Requiem can bring out a bit of an upset here and take this second game, bring us to a game three. And yeah, just a reminder for everyone, Requiem, if they win this series, they get into the playoffs. They lock in their spot in the playoffs, really. And if Plink Plonk win, they've already guaranteed their spot in the playoffs. But if they win this one, they guarantee their spot in the winner's side of the bracket. So pretty important for both. But Plink Plonk looking very solid going into this one.
And so now I have a question for you. You made note of Moffin's Rasmus goalie and Kazan goalie, but on a map like Taiko Temple, where you kind of need those creations to hold it down, I'm curious as to what character they're going to pick as that defensive goalie, maybe an offensive one as well. Maybe something like an Aimi I think could be great. We see the Kai band here as well as the Juno. I'm not really sure what the starting awakenings are. On Taiko, the core is going to be going even faster than that Night Market game, especially with all the bounces. So if you weren't ready before, you've got to be locked in now. I like this Nubu pick to help close off a lane and have those lower cooldowns and the ability to just say, stop, I'm in control of the situation now. And we do see that Aimi get picked up. We do see Loki on Zentaro, though. Pick that I haven't seen a ton of on this map. Not necessarily saying it's bad, but I usually see characters like Bell's infamous Adubu, but we see the Asher here, another very popular forward pick. We see J-Dog on the Aimi. We actually see Moffin stay on the Kazan here, and for For our last pick, we do see Striker Kai back on that Drakkar. I feel like Drakkar could be good on this map with how many pockets there are and how you typically want to have that little bit of extra space control, where even if it isn't a creation, that shotgun can do wonders for you.
Yeah, especially Striker Kai is very comfortable on the character. It's mostly Kai and Drakkar are kind of the picks there. So I'm not really surprised with any of these picks that we're seeing. Moffin, of course, on the signature the goalie. I think Kazan can work here. I think Rasmus also works here pretty well, surprisingly well. But we'll just have to see how it goes. I mean, so far, it's relatively tied up. Loki, though, finding the big KO there on to just Logan. And J-Dog's still stuck on this level 1, not going to have access to that turret for at least a little while longer here. Loki NB looking to push this second barrier here, bouncing off the center. Just Logan will respawn. Xeno in this top side with Loki NB trying to find a way through here. Just Logan, though, will be able to win that and try and get back over the other side of the field. But now Striker Kai with the shotgun trying to send it up into this top against Moffin here. Core flip coming out from Loki into the dash, but Moffin able to save it. Pretty incredible. Does burn the core flip on the air, unfortunately, but the barrier will remain up as we enter overtime. Xeno in a little bit of a creation situation over there, able to get it out back to Loki to bring down that barrier. Is now J-Dog looking to fire back, but Xeno finds the clear out. Striker Kai sending it up in this bottom corner once again. Core flip comes out from J-Dog. Core flip from Striker Kai sends it back around. J-Dog still able to hold it down on the defense, though, and now bringing it up to this top side. Brings out the turret into Glitch Pop. Can't find anything off Xeno, and now just Logan looking for stuff of his own. Asher primary will be enough. Xeno burns the core flip here as well. Striker Kai dribbling it off the middle there. Bit dangerous, but able to save it for now. J-Dog with the Glitch Pop, though, finds the kill onto the goalie as a huge advantage for Plink Plunk here. Pass from just Logan up to J-Dog. Striker Kai not quite going to be able to save that one. Tough situation, but Plink Plunk will find the point and be the first to score a goal.
A little bit of an unfortunate bounce off of that corner there. I don't think it was going straight up, but it went straight up into the net. As now the starting awakenings being 1-2 punch and hot shot, I think are pretty interesting here because we saw Loki going for the kill on Moffin earlier, really just putting up a ton of pressure. But with that hot shot, the core is going to be going nuclear, and with these bounces, really just keep accentuating how much you need to have that presence, where something like a creation can just hold it down for you, where even if you can't react, the creation doesn't have to. It's just there being a force, much like Loki's being a force in this net, getting both barriers with the help of Striker Kai. And now we see a dribble, the ult not quite doing it, as we see a barrier go down on the side of Core Requiem. A second one go down. J-Dog putting up the pressure. Right now, Logan, a little bit of low health, gotta stay alive. J-Dog also looking a little bit tough, but a little bit of a miscommunication on the defense after that glitch pop where it just slips between two players. And now J-Dog taking them to potentially an early draft.
Plunk still looking very solid as they are on this set point. Striker Kai on the kickoff unfortunately went for the predict, but J-Dog kind of waited it out there, and now they're going to be able to get this offensive pressure going. No barrier is going to be able to go down just yet, but Moffin able to keep sending it back over to Requiem side of the field. Will secure this bottom barrier now, looking for a second one potentially. Wins the strike war against Loki here, but the Zenolt's going to come out. J-Dog, though, is right there to hold it down. Just Logan looking very hurt, having to fall back a little bit, play his life a bit, be the kind of the goalie as Moffin pushes up to the midfield. Core flip from J-Dog after receiving that barrier. Not going to get the point, but Moffin able to send it right back up. Core flip coming out, pass over to J-Dog. Can't quite get the angle here, though, but can have another try. It's just Logan back up in the fray in this top corner. Xeno finds the clear out of there, though. Loki's still trying to bring down a barrier, but the defense from Plink Plunk is just too high. Xeno Gemini does have a core flip up, but the soup is down, unfortunately. Moffin still keeping this offense going as we're about to enter this overtime. Loki will find one barrier here. Striker Kai dangerous bounce off the center, but Xeno able to hold it down. However, the glitch pop from J-Dog will find its way through. No core flips coming out, and that's Plink Plunk taking set one.
You would think that J-Dog is the scorer for this team with how much pressure they've had in this net. Moffin picking up potentially a lot of, honestly, really great options here for them. We see Twin Drive being kind of the default one, Rapid Fire, Prime Time. I feel like you want Rapid Fire or Prime Time to make it down to your Drakkar. The extra special going up for Dubu, that is a little bit difficult. Not really a great awakening for Kazan to deny, and now we're just going to see one lane closed off almost permanently, it feels like. Zentara picking up that Stagger Swagger, denying it. A lot of pressure been coming out from them, so I can understand why they would want the red team here to not have it. Asher picking up the Slit Kicks too, as some might call it. And maybe that'll give Logan a little bit of extra presence in the midfield, where sometimes it feels like the core just is bouncing around so much that when you're a slower character like Asher, it just can't get to you. But also with how much damage they're taking, the extra reset on the secondary for that damage reduction could be very valuable to them. But now we see Logan hanging out in the net, being attacked by two people, giving J-Dog and Moffin a ton of room to breathe. And now we kind of just have to see how they collapse on that, as Logan is back to being unstaggered here.
Yeah, and with one barrier down now, Plink Plunk still have to be a bit on the defensive here. Looks like they're able to get it out now. Just Logan pushing this bottom side, trying to pass up to J-Dog. Loki falling back to play defensively, though. There is just Logan flying off the map from a bounce on the center. Just Logan has unfortunately been dead a fair bit of this game. Core Requiem has just finding ways been taken out of the game. Nice little glitch pop there from J-Dog. Will secure one barrier as just Logan respawns. Core flip from Loki is going to be blocked by Moffin, getting it back into the hands of J-Dog here, bouncing it around, passing now down to just Logan, brings out the pass splitter, pushing this bottom corner hard as we enter overtime, but Zeno is able to hold it down. Striker Kai down off the bottom bumper, able to secure this barrier, trying to get it back up to Loki to find the point here, but Plink Plunk is able to get it back around into the hands of just Logan here, who has a core flip up now. All three members actually have a core flip up now. Moffin just keeps hitting it with this overtime Kazan all the way back up to the front. No one able to be in core flip range there, unfortunately. Zeno will be able to clear it out back down to Loki, but Moffin able to get out of the Zen ult. Now back to just Logan, dribbling it, just sends it right into the bottom. Doesn't even need to core flip that one. The core moves fast enough already. Plink Plunk continue their absolute reign of terror in game 2.
Great awareness to not knock it into the drum. Could have messed up that dribble, but now with full core flips on the side of red team, you know, they're really the ones looking like the blue team, but Logan has to use his just to survive, as no Moffin and J-Dog are holding on to theirs. Logan trying to just stay alive against this onslaught of the massive hamster. Striker Kai trying to keep the pressure up in the midfield, as now it goes back up to Logan. Logan getting a little bit of time to recover some health. And now we see kind of why they took that Stagger Swagger pick on Loki, to deny Logan this extra health. But right now he's looking great. It just needs to get to him as we go. The Zentaro ult, burning a flip, getting to Logan, but the Tofu Fortress really holding it down, but not holding it down well enough as both barriers go down. A flip from J-Dog, and a tipped on the Cyber Swipe, and in the confusion, it just slides right in.
Big mind games coming out there from Plink Plunk. I think it got like stalled out. I don't know if it got hit with the Dubu roll, if it just got stalled out, but it basically just sat there for a bit and kind of just confused everyone. I think Requiem lost track of where it was actually going. But yeah, Plink Plunk now on another set point. Just Logan taking a lot of damage as per usual, but managing to stay alive. It hasn't really mattered so far, as Plink Plunk have found ways to score regardless, and now keeping this offense up. Moffin with the hook, able to dribble it. Just Logan will go down here as Loki looking for a barrier, gets it down to Striker Kai off of the rebound, and not quite able to land the double hit, but it's actually Plink Plunk who find a double hit here. Bring down both barriers right from the middle as just Logan back alive once again, dribbling it off the center, needs to get it through. Striker Kai will find a way to do so here, but the soup's going to come out from Zeno, shut that down. Core flip from Loki is blocked by Moffin though. And now the offense continues up in this top corner. J-Dog trying to go for the shot down to Glitch Pop, but doesn't quite find it here. They still have a barrier up. Of course, I say that Loki immediately brings it down, but just Logan bringing out the pass splitter, trying to find a point as we enter overtime now. Moffin passing it down, but Striker Kai passing it back up to Loki MB. Can't find the angle, unfortunately. Core moving a little bit too fast is now just Logan looking for a point. Zeno able to get it down into that bottom corner and clear it out. Moffin passing it back up to J-Dog. Does have a core flip up in this midfield here. Passing it around, glitch popping it all the way around. Just Logan trying to get his hands on it. The core moving a little bit too fast right now. Core flip from J-Dog. They'll bounce it all the way around. Perfect little ricochet there to just Logan to able to redirect it right in. Plink Plunk take set 2 and are looking to 3-0 this one.
Excellent core flip there, and with the stun on the goal, we made it almost guaranteed to get in, and even if they saved it, there was that firewall sentry holding it down. Now we potentially see Timeless Creator going to the enemy. A great awakening on that character. We'll have to see if they lock it in. Striker Kai potentially looking to deny one of these two sparks, as they recognize that Moffin, this game again, is the sparker of the team. They take the spark of resilience, trying to make sure that these players can't be immortal, but with this much damage coming out, it might be time to fight back. Quick Strike going on to the Asher Prize Fighter, going on to the Zentaro. Dubu left with Timeless, which with the extra special could be pretty good. Monumentalist without that projectile distance increase can be a little bit awkward to use on the ult, but with the extra zone control, I think it could work out really great for them. And as I say that they lose a barrier, perhaps I should be the one that is cursing us this time.
Caster Curse is real, it seems, in these games, but off to a pretty similar start, looks like. Just Logan taking a lot of damage, but both barriers still up regardless for the side of Plink Plonk here. Loki and be able to find that top one there, but now J-Dog looking for a barrier of their own. There goes Just Logan flying off the map, but Moffin and J-Dog have been able to hold it down regardless. No power plays have really been able to come out from the side of Requiem every time that they've killed Just Logan, so I mean, Plink Plonk has just really held down these 2v3s very, very solidly. And yeah, once again, that barrier will remain standing as Just Logan is back online looking to push this top corner. Core flip from J-Dog will find the barrier in the confusion. As now Moffin pushing it back up. J-Dog's taking a lot of damage, but the defense is still there, and they're still pushing up. Pass splitter from Just Logan in this bottom side. Moffin in this midfield as J-Dog is healed back up now. Loki NB looking for this barrier, though, off the bumper. Will be able to find it, but now in overtime, Moffin able to have those pretty easy clears with that fast core, and has a core flip up just in case as well. And now Loki in this bottom side, core flipping it here, sending it around the top. Great angle found by Loki for the point, but Requiem is going to need a lot more to bring this one back. Still down 2 sets.
When you're in a situation like this, the only point you can worry about is the one you're in right this second, as right now they go to defend, and Logan barely escaping death. I thought for sure that was going to be a kill, much like Loki's health bar going into the blast zone, but the only one who's been blasting off lately is Just Logan, looking like Team Rocket, because honestly, Logan hasn't really been allowed to play this game too much. Both his teammates level 8, him just a measly level 5. But honestly, being that decoy and just having a bunch of people stare at you, sometimes when you have players like J-Dog and Moffin, can just be enough where you say, all right, you want to spend all your resources on me? My teammates will take care of you. And now Logan, once again at low health, J-Dog almost had another core flip. How does this guy do it? It just feels like any time I see him, he just has core flip available. Another one about to come out, and it's online. It's not used yet. And we'll have to see where they end up using it. But with both barriers up, they might be looking for a better situation, playing a little conservatively. One barrier goes down, but so does Logan's health bar. We'll have to see if they can get it through. An orb picked up, and if they get this second orb, could be another core flip online. So this offense could turn around in a split second.
Yeah, now on the defense, though, Plink Plonk, it looks like they're trying to able to get out of there, but Loki NB with the strike war against Moffin, able to win it, send it into the top, and bring Core Requiem to set point. Looks like they could be trying to take a set of their own here. Still going to be a little bit rough, though. Plink Plonk does need to score 3 goals to earn this one back, but they do have an energy advantage kind of entering this this round. Core flip from Just Logan will secure 1 barrier. Looks like they're still trying to push for a second one. Brings out the Azure Primary. Core flip from Zeno. Unfortunately, it is going to hit the barrier regardless, as Loki NB with the Zen ult will find a barrier of his own. Just Logan once again staggered and playing for his life. But still trying to find this goal here. J-Dog trying to find the pass up. Roll from Zeno is going to shut that down. Loki finding the KO off the bumper onto Just Logan once again, as Striker Kai now looking to push this barrier. J-Dog with the Cyber Swipe pushes back up into the goal box. Core flip comes out from J-Dog, but shut down by the suit from Zeno. Just got to throw it away and bounce it around for a little bit. Now Just Logan back online. Core flip from Striker Kai, though, sends it back in, but Just Logan in the midfield with the pass splitter. Great plays there from Plink Plonk. J-Dog with the glitch pop sends it back down, and Just Logan finds the point.
Path splitter really just creating that path into the midfield and into the enemy net, as now we go into this next point. The side of Plink Plonk, they really just want to close this out here from the looks of it. They're really burning everything. But on the side of Core Requiem, they kind of need to get this last point, otherwise it feels like it could be just the end of the set, just like that. As now Zeno walking up, applying a ton of pressure. They're having a little bit of trouble getting this out as J-Dog goes low. Logan gets low. And now, you know, sort of Sheriff Drakkar just shooting everybody in sight, putting a lot of damage on the board. Logan goes to 0 HP. Can they stay alive? J-Dog next on the list. You know, do you think there's a bounty out here? But right now we just have to see if Moffin can keep the bounty on the barriers alive as they try to keep this defense running.
Yeah, just Logan dead once again, but both barriers, well, one barrier still up now. Striker Kai secures that one, and just Logan back on the offense immediately off of respawn, trying to push up here, trying to pass up to J-Dog. Core flip comes out from Zeno, shut down by the pass splitter, though, from just Logan. Gonna keep it going, but Loki NB finds the core flip and is able to secure this barrier, open up the goal, as Core Requiem desperately want to take this set and keep their series alive here. The barrier does go down, though, as both goals are open in this overtime. Loki still firing shots, trying to find an angle back down to Striker Kai, passing back and forth, trying to look for this angle between the defense, but they just can't find a crack in the armor. As back to Striker Kai, back to Loki, going for the top, but misses the Zentaro passive, unfortunately. And now back in the hands of J-Dog in this midfield is now Requiem, who are on the defensive here, as just Logan pushing this top corner. Core flip comes out from Striker Kai. He's going to send it all the way around, but Moffin sends it right back in. Shotgun from Striker Kai, trying to keep it up in the hands of Loki, but just can't keep it going. The core is moving too fast now at this point in the game. Moffin able to just clear it so far away with these regular strikes here every single time. And the energy coming up for the side of Plink Plonk is not looking good for Core Requiem. They need to score this as quickly as possible. So Moffin now sending it all the way around. J-Dog with the cyber stripes to keep it dribbling, sending it back up, not using the core flip just yet. Loki going for this shot, and it actually manages to go in. Moffin couldn't quite reach the hook. Loki NB will win the set here for Core Requiem. Xeno Gemini getting the MVP and potentially the start of a reverse sweep, but they still need 2 more of those to bring back game 2.
No sparks on the table here for Moffin, but a forced deny in team player. You really don't want Kazan having that, especially with how fast these cores are going. The sparks are flying, but not in this draft. We see Drakkar kind of leaving it open, making sure Zentaro gets something. Both of them get a size awakening, denying that Asher. Asher not really left with any great options. Maybe we'll see specialized training come out here, since, you know, at this point you almost wish that you had Van Braces on Asher with how much damage they are taking. J-Dog and Moffin, max XP, and now we got to see if they can get Logan up there too. That extra health from the XP could be a big deal. Right now, the only XP going is to J-Dog as they take both of these barriers with the Fireball Sentry. Really just excellent usage of all of Imi's abilities. Right now, Logan setting up a dribble, not quite able to get it. Loki on the defense as well. It feels like there's 3 goalies in the box right now. But when you have the Kazan on defense, it can feel like even if you have 3 goalies there, the core just never leaves it. Right there, it sparks just like that. And Xeno, an unfortunate Tofu Fortress, not quite catching the core, as now they go down 0-1 against Plink Plonk Bonanza.
Plink Plonk looking to just close this one out as quickly as possible. J-Dog going to be having some energy up pretty shortly here as well. Unfortunate dribble there from Moffin will result in 1 barrier going down. Will manage to keep that second one up for now, but just Logan looking to bring down a barrier of their own. Will find that bottom one. Zeno does have a core flip in the back pocket just in case, but big push coming out from Plink Plonk brings out the ultimates and earns the core flip as well as the barrier here. Loki with the Zen ult now trying to just keep this core control as they're looking to bring down a second barrier of their own and open up this goal box. But Zeno needs to find a way out of the situation, but just Logan is just going to be too much to handle, just pushing right through the Dubu and bringing Plink Plonk to match point and series point here.
Just Logan is just scoring, and with 2 core flips on the side of Plink Plonk, this could be devastating for the side of Core Requiem. But now we see Moffin keeping defense alive, almost securing that barrier, but unfortunately the open primary kind of taking it for them. But I think it was guaranteed there no matter what. J-Dog looking for an opportunity. This core flip comes out, no guarantee yet. The core flip from Loki actually killing Logan, and so now even though they had that opportunity, it's kind of turned against them, and now J-Dog might just have to use this core flip just to keep the core in possession. But unfortunately they lose the barrier, playing a little bit conservative. We might need to see if that comes back to bite them, or if they're just saying, you know what, we're up 2 sets, I don't need to burn my core flip here, we're just fine. We're going to take a little bit of extra time as we go almost into this overtime in a few seconds here if they can't close this out. But good passing plays, but Moffin just doesn't care, has the read, gets the guarantee. And now this Tofu Fortress working to help on the offense, but they just can't get it out of this half. And now with J-Dog being back, 3 people on the line, but unfortunately both strikers on the blue team going down. And so now it's back in their half with this Firewall Sentry helping protect against the drum. And now we just have to see if they can score this last barrier, or if Core Requiem will have another chance at life in this series.
The barrier does go down here, but it's still anyone's match is in deep in this overtime now, and energy coming up for both sides. Loki on this bottom side, Moffin able to clear it out of there with a shot to the top side. Tofu versus the pass splitter. Zeno able to hold it down for now, but still a dangerous situation as Moffin able to send it so far, but misses the hook. Loki able to find another shot now into this bottom side and put a point on the board for Requiem, but Plinkplonk still on match point. They just need one more to end it. They do have a little bit of an energy advantage going into this. Striker Kai gets a little bit trapped in the soup there on kickoff, but it's going to be fine. Just Logan burning the core flip on the air, unfortunately. J-Dog will be able to rectify that mistake with a Cyber Swipes to secure the barrier, and they continue to push, earn the double barrier as well, and Plinkplonk looking pretty solid. The health bar is kind of low, but they're in a very good spot to score potentially. J-Dog burnt the core flip a little bit early, unfortunately, but they still have 2 barriers to none. Just Logan is getting kind of thrown around a bit, going to have to play his life for just a bit here as Moffin tries to get it out of the hands of Striker Kai, but back and forth, and Striker Kai able to find this barrier with a little pass there. Now Moffin with the hook, sending it into the top side, dribbling it, trying to send it over to J-Dog. Just Logan just getting 2 hit stunned to do anything, though. The Firewall Sentry comes out through this middle side as Loki MB now on the defense with the rest of Core Requiem. Plinkplonk just pushing this corner hard. Nice little glitch spot from J-Dog. Doesn't find anything as just Logan gets bounced around, but still manages to barely survive. The soup comes out to shut down that top corner as we enter overtime once again. Moffin trying to find a way to get this core to the forwards for the defense from Requiem. They are playing for their lives here. Core flip from Xeno Gemini sends it all the way around. Will earn a barrier here as well. And core flip from Moffin. Not going to send it anything, but J-Dog finds a little shot there. I think off of that, no, not off of the bouncer, but off of the wall. Right into the bottom side. Plinkplonk able to take it. Game 2, 2-0 now, as they take their series and are looking very solid, locking in that winner's bracket playoff spot. And Requiem gonna have to try again next week.
God, and you know, it felt like I was watching almost 2 different games there at the end for Plinkplonk. Just Logan playing some excellent League of Legends ARAM, just fighting for his life, and the other 2 playing Bloons Tower Defense, just keeping those barriers alive, and eventually they sneak it through. A little unfortunate that that's how it goes out, but at the same time, you know, excellent games played, excellent plays made by all the players. And honestly, Moffin has really impressed me with this Kazan goalie. I haven't gotten to see it yet, and now I honestly understand why they're kind of known for it. Logan not getting as much time on the core as I'm sure they would have liked, but at the same time, did their job excellently. Striker Kai, very impressive in this game too. The redirects just speak for themselves. Loki and Xeno both doing a great job, but it just seems like today Plinkplonk was the winning team.
Yeah, Plinkplonk put on a very, very solid performance today, both games, and Moffin with the 277 redirects here, 92 saves, absolutely holding it down on this Kazan goalie on Taiko Temple. I mean, I can understand why they picked this map. They definitely performed very well on it, even with just Logan kind of dead for most of the game. And that being said, Logan still managed to get 5 goals and 1 assist, despite being killed pretty much every single round. But yeah, Plinkplonk just held down those 2v3s so well, just did not let Core Requiem capitalize on that at all. And Core Requiem, they did well, but it just was not enough in the face of these absolute monsters on the side of Plinkplonk. So I think that makes them 6-2 now in the standings, and locked in for that winner's spot playoff spot.
Yeah, and honestly, with them securing their spot in winner's side of playoffs, it means we'll have a lot more time to watch their gameplay and see a little bit more of that Kazan goalie. You know, honestly, with a player who I used to know for the Kazan goalie was Tragic. They were teaching me it a little bit. But honestly, Moffin doing an exceptional job, really just showcasing all the strengths of that character, making it sort of look like there were just 3 forwards on that team, but not lacking any defense whatsoever. The defensive plays were great. The offensive plays were great. Honestly, just as a team, they played wonderfully, except towards that last little bit where Logan kind of just had to go sit on the island and pray.
Yeah, yeah, Logan definitely got kind of the short end of the stick, but winning is winning, and Plinkplonk did that very, very well. Very solid games from them, both of them tonight. But that is all we have for you today for NASA Week 8. Those are our series. So GG's to all the teams that played today. Absolutely great games to watch. Some really close ones, some really good ones. But that's all for now. So we'll be seeing you next week. Next week is the last week of the regular season. So yeah, definitely hype for that. But thank you everyone for watching. You have anything else to say, Dendar?
Honestly, just because your series ends here with this game doesn't mean that you need to give up. Just keep pushing at it. And honestly, I could see this team with the core Requiem honestly being a huge powerhouse with just a little bit more work. And honestly, they didn't even play poorly. They were just against a bit of an offensive titan, and the map's really working to their benefit. So honestly, I would not feel bad if I were them. I would just say that if they lock in a little bit more, they could be a huge threat in the upcoming brackets. But just as that series ends, so does this stream have to. It's been a pleasure working with you, and honestly, looking forward to the next time we get to cast together.
Yeah, definitely. Anyway, that's all for now. See ya, everybody. Goodbye.